Get 'em, Jimmy, where Lil Shaq at? The bottle's getting empty up the crack and we stacking chips. All of it's what I want, plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone, I prefer elevated pub sports radio. Time to get educated, get produced, leave the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call a truce. They getting slaughtered, can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon, 'cause we be pubbing.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low bag girth? Happy Wednesday, June 28th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. A big night for sports with the NHL draft. Connor Bedard heading over to the Chicago Blackhawks, who don't deserve him. But I like the Nick Foligno pickup. The Taylor Hall pickup is interesting. I don't really know what kind of character Taylor Hall is anymore, but I imagine that he's matured from the hothead that he was. If he has matured, maybe it's nice to have another number one overall pick to help guide Connor Bedard. Connor Bedard did play 2 years for my club hockey team in Vancouver. Connor Bedard, Morgan Riley, Griffin Reinhart, all members of the club team that I played for all my youth. Their teams are much better than mine. All right. It was a frustrating day yesterday. All I had to do was take that Houston-St. Louis full game under instead of the first 5 under, and I would have had a profit. There was some really good capping and then some poor capping. Boston first 5 was a disgrace. Miami-Boston first 5 over 5 cashed. Didn't really cash the way I had expected it to cash. Milwaukee-New York Mets first 5 over 5 lost. And then to compound that loss, I added that Milwaukee first 5 plus a half. So that was bad. The good Cleveland KC first 3 under 2.5 at plus 115 and first 5 under 5 at plus 100. My man Brady Singer stepping up for me. Padres game voided with the pitching change, and imperative for all of you to ensure that, you know, if you lose, even though Darvish hasn't been good, if you lose Darvish, at least your bet gets voided. Don't play action in those spots, or at least for the Padres side of things, because you can pick action on one side and pitcher must start on the other. I just have pitchers must start. But then Atlanta -1 was excellent. I feel bad for those of you who went on the over. It looked like it was going to cash immediately. Then Houston, St. Louis first 5. So at that point, you know, I'm 4-3. I closed the night poorly with the Houston first 5 under 4 losing, and the full game cashing in Colorado plus 2.5 not succeeding. Before we get rolling, I've moved heavy in the CFL. I went 5-0 last week, and I almost bet every game. And there's only 3 this week because it's a Canada Day up here. I almost, but then I stopped. I was like, you know what? I just want a little bit more time on the Alouettes, Bombers, Lions, Argos. But I tripled up in the CFL last night on the Elks Red Blacks game. I think it's on Friday. I believe it's on Friday. Yes, Friday, Saturday, Monday are the 3 games. So I tripled up. And also, I bet this at 12:30 at midnight Eastern time. Woke up and the team total had gone up. The juice was worse on the Elks full game. So I like all of that. But just so you guys know, I'm on the Elks team total over 17.5. The team totals in CFL at Bet365 are -120 each way. I have to watch my language for the first 8 minutes of the broadcast, but I'm thinking horrible things about Bet365. That's moved to 18.5. I'm on the Elks full game plus 3.5. I could have got it at plus 4 earlier in the week and wanted to. Don't know exactly why I was hesitant. Got the 3.5 at -105, and it was -110 this morning. So I like all of that. And then I'm on the over 42.5. Look, I get that Ottawa's offense is down to its third string quarterback and doesn't look good. But Edmonton's defense is atrocious. They have electric wide receivers. The weather's fine. This is a 42.5 total. So I tripled up in CFL. Again, team total over 17.5. Elks full game plus 3.5. Edmonton Ottawa over 42.5. And And I needed to go 5-0 last week. So I'm only 12-10 on the year. I think it's plus 0.42 units. So it's not like I'm dominating CFL, but I feel like I'm seeing things very clearly and lost to team totals by a half point. Kind of got talked into a spot that I didn't really want anything to do with, and so I feel like my record should be better, but it's not that good. It's just 12-10, even though I'm coming off 5-0 week. So you guys need the clarity there. It's not like I'm coming off 5-0 week and I'm just dominating the sport, but I feel like I'm seeing things clearly. All right, so let's give you guys all a shout out, and we have Conor Mac ready to rock and roll with us here today. Justin McElvey in the house. Stacks play of the day is the Twins. Team total over 4.5. Get this here for the stacks play of the day from Justin McElvey. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play of the day. Baltimore -1, -120. A winning streak, 6-game winning streak came to an end. You know that I think that's the first time that our specialty plays of the day have missed. All of them have missed, but man, is Ron being excellent. 26-19 after the loss yesterday, 57.8% plus 6.96 units, ROI plus 15.47%, average line -103. And it's not only the fact that he's succeeding, that's very important. It's the most important, but also just the consistency of our friend Ron, who's given us a play on every single show, whether it's just a Pete Loshak show or it's just a Jose Bouquet show, but every single one of our shows, Tuesday to Friday since the baseball season started. So shout out to our guy, Ron Crawford. Don Play ready to get to work. There's Razor Sharp Picks. Says, let's have it. Headed to Delaware Park now. God, every Wednesday that you go there, I just in the summertime, obviously, because it's when your track's. I'm insanely jealous. God, nothing beats the smell of a sports book in the morning, man. God damn. Whew. God, I just like to have some vodka water in my water bottle and sit right beside you and get to work all day. I'm very jealous of you being at Delaware Park. And anybody in the area, go hang out with Razor down at Delaware Park. Gamblers first glance. Cardinals money line. Cardinals -117. Razor Sharp Picks Gamblers first glance. And the video's up right now. I will retweet that here. I didn't realize that video was up right now. I will retweet that for you. But let's get this locked in here. This is such a fascinating baseball card. There was 6 or 7 spots that I was like, oh, and it just didn't correlate comfortably. So this is one of the first shows in a long time where I have not made a bet coming into it. And literally 6 or 7 spots, I was like, God, I gotta have to talk this out. There's Tom Miggins, Giants levels play of the day. Absolutely beautiful. Fast cash play of the day. Sparks moneyline first half -105. 12 noon start. I love that. Thank you for sharing that with us. Tone Miggins moving here on the WNBA game that pops off here shortly. I love it. Billy Friedrich in the house says it's Patrick Corbin and Joey Wentz day. It's so funny. These fucking garbage pitchers. I love them all. It's wild. Top set in the house. Fly White Mike. There's the nuke versus. Let's get down to business. Crypto-ish. Troy Torrance. Londo in the house. TJ says the gift goes down. Milwaukee offense success. Imagine our plays of the day here. You have Ron Crawford losing his ROI, still 15.47%. The gift loses, and it's still at 70%, 21-9, plus 11.93 units ROI, plus 36.5% average line -104. I mean, it's all good. Real Deal Prime says NHL draft, baby. And all I can think of is Ole Uelevi over Matthew Tkachuk and Jim Benning ruining the great city of Vancouver. That's what he did. That's what Jim Benning did. And if I ever get the chance to see you in public, Jim, if a guy in a ski mask runs up to you with some sort of a metal object, try to run, because you're about to get knocked in the kneecap hard. Gonna get Nancy Kerrigan, Mr. Benning. So you better hope that you never see the bag in public, because mark my words, I will be arrested. Brian Watson in the house. Billy Felix says, not sure what the Canes are thinking, bringing back D'Angelo and looking to trade Pesci. Yeah, it's. Actually, I got the Canes. I listened to the Canes beat writer a couple days ago explaining everything that was happening there. Basically, the D'Angelo thing is they don't want because half the salary has been taken, right? D'Angelo is not a $5 million defenseman. They think of him as a $2 million defenseman. They want him on the third unit and the second power play unit. And at this cash point, they love it. They re-signed Jordan Staal. They're going to get Svechnikov back. In all honesty, they're the first team I'm really interested in futures on next year is Carolina. And that's just my affinity for Rod Brind'Amour. But, you have Shea, these great defensemen that you guys have built up through the Checkers AHL team, they're now expensive. And you guys had a firm line on D'Angelo. You let him go. Now you get him for half the price. I really like everything that the Hurricanes do. I think they're a quality hockey team. Oh, TJ was not poor capping. These things happen, man. These things happen. Jay's final take in the house. Real deal prime. Top said I should have taken Philly first 5. Yeah, so should I have. I mean, I just couldn't understand why they weren't a bigger favorite. I just didn't understand. I couldn't for the life of me. I was like, why? And then why is the market not moving towards them? That really bothered me because I've been on the Suarez train. I was ahead of the market with Suarez turning his season around and then, not getting paid off of it here. There is Sharpie up 25 units this month. Sharpie, spectacular work. And I don't know if I would have doubled up on that Royals tribe. First 3 under and first 5 under, if it wasn't for Sharpie's belief in Gavin Williams, because I believe in Brady Singer at home, and I know he's going to make us money. And Gavin Williams, similar there. Thank you, Sharpie, because I wouldn't have doubled up. I would have probably only just been on the first 500, but the first 300, 2.5 at plus 115, I wouldn't have done it if it wasn't for your belief. A great job yesterday. Nuclear said you could have been a first round pick. No, I was at about 14. The hat tricks slowed down. I started getting physically abused out there, But I still thought that my expectation. I was an idiot kid, right? Kids are just dumb mouth breathers, and I was expecting. I thought I was going to play hockey, or at least have something to do with hockey. Yeah. Brian Watson says Astros killed him. Vital says, what team gave up 10 runs, 19 hits, and look horrible? What team gave up 10 runs, 19? I'm going to have to sit with that because, one of the big things that I do, Vitalis, is I don't care what happened yesterday. So I don't have any of those notes. I don't have anything. I try, obviously I watch the games, but then I just try to let everything go. So I probably can't even do that. Troy Torrance in the house. Okay, we got a great group. Mike M ready to go. There's Red Girl. Jay's final take, Toronto Argos plus 150. I like that, Jay. I like that. I think that BC can come in overconfident. My plan was to take the Argos 2, and I was shocked at the 1.5 line. It's moved to 2.5. There are 3s on the board now. I expect 3s on the board for sure. And then maybe I move. Also, just so you guys know, in CFL here, I want the unders. The market's moving to the overs in Winnipeg, Montreal. Again, I'm on the over on Friday, but I want the unders. The total's gone up to 49 in Winnipeg, Montreal, and the total in BC Toronto's gone from 45.5 to 47.5. I really want the under in BC Toronto, and I just want that to keep climbing. I got a little cold feet about Winnipeg, Montreal, and I think what I might end up doing is just taking the Alouettes plus 6. But again, I feel like I just need a little bit more time. Some weeks scream at you, and some weeks are a little more difficult. With only 3 games long, I felt it was a little more difficult here. And Lucas is on the full game over and BC money line. So look, I hope you got it at 45.5. I'm going to be on the other side, but I'm going to wait. Oh, wow. And it's down to 41.5 at Bookmaker. That's crazy, Billy. If that's the case, then just focus on the Elks team total over and the Elks full game if you want, if you're concerned, but I'm not. I'm not concerned. Dan Kelly in the house. There's Slats. He says, glad to be with you on Elks plus 3.5, even though Lewis is questionable. Oliveira and Sean missed practice for the Bombers. Yeah, I don't know if Oliveira is such a beast, but Sean, I'm not sure if he'll be in there. Nufflush Allen says, morning, boys and girls. My exact words were Wood would have a bounce back day. The Giants whisperer keeps rolling. Absolutely spectacular work there. Okay, we got to get to work. There's Rocco Rogers, Equanimus, Leroy Flood, Michael Johnson, Mally Mal. I love it. Robert Franklin, North Ender, ready to go. JW, Stimio G. Nice job, Jay. 7-3-1 CFL right now. Beautiful. We got Piker, Paco Healy, B. Fox, Dabra Cadabra, Rodney Barton. Great to see Dan Kelly says Saratoga meets. Yeah, I've been going over the Saratoga schedule for months and months. God, you're lucky to live so close to that spectacular track here. And I know that Razor is going to be all over it as well. Sean Dozier on the Sky -2 and over full game 156.5. We were going to be live here for opening day at Saratoga, but no longer. I'm going to be in LA for that day, and I'm not going to. Dat Fan, sorry, talking to somebody else. Yeah, because Billy Frieder gets up to 47.5 in my books. I'm not killing CFL. I felt like I had some tough breaks, but 5-0 last week to go to 12-10. So even though I feel so confident right now, I'm not succeeding. And you guys all know when you're confident, you can go up against market moves with impunity, and that's what I did last week, and that's what I'm going to do with that Edmonton Ottawa over. I'm shocked at that. We're going to get into baseball, and I don't want to keep CMAC waiting here. I just want to just very, very quickly here see the. Oh, it's still 42.5 here. Okay, still 42.5 here. Oh, full game over on the Elks. Okay, beautiful, Lucas. Beautiful. All right, let's get to work. Let's bring on your star of Wednesdays, and also a man known for his Jack of the Day, which will be seen, I believe, on today's Balking Dead. So we have a Jack of the Day. So don't, he may give out some home run props here on the show, but the Jack of the Day will come out on the Balking Dead at 3:10 p.m. And here he is 12-11, hitting at 52.2% plus 2.41 units. That's an ROI of plus 10.48%, double-digit ROI, an average line of plus 110. Please welcome from Las Vegas, Nevada, Mr. Conor Mac. The show. C-Mac, how are you?
Jimmy, what's going on? Feeling good. Ready to roll, man. Ready to roll. It's hot as fuck. Finally here in Vegas, but I was hot yesterday. Swept the board, so let's see if we could keep it going.
Love hearing that, C-Mac. Let's get rolling. Let me just make sure that I've got everything up. I tell you what, we talk about some of these pitchers who have struggled enormously that I have an affinity for. Colby Allard making a start here after a stint on the IL. Also picked up by Anthopoulos after they drafted him. I'm excited to talk about Colby Allard. I've lost a lot of money on that young man. I'm excited about this. Okay, let me just get up the weather here, and we are going to get to work. There we go. I cut everything here just so that my computer would be moving at a speed that I could work with here. Let's roll. Get public betting up here. And let's roll. Okay, here we go. We have afternoon action 1 hour from now. 1 hour from now. Minnesota Twins, 40-41, 17-22 on the road at Atlanta Braves, 52-27, 26-15 at home. I've been preaching the Guardians to win the division since I got in at plus 380. I loved watching the Twins roll into Atlanta. Very difficult place to play. And the Guardians had that big big ninth inning run in Kansas City last night, Jack, to take it to 2-1. I don't know if it was a Jack or what it was, but now they're plus 140. God, I want that cash. Wash Redskin says Kenta Maeda is shit. I don't agree, and I do not know what he's going to give us. I do not know. Obviously, his numbers are atrocious, but he was dealing with some issues with his arm. I love it. Christopher Carter on it as well. I love it. Troy Torrance saying C-Mac, one of my favorite cappers. Man is legit. He is. Let's get to work here. So last start from Maeda was against a weak-hitting Detroit Tigers team. It was his first start since coming off the IL, and he went 5 innings, 8 strikeouts, 2 walks. He looked very good in the 4-1 win at Detroit. He is going up against Colby Allard. And I know this kid pretty well. 14th overall pick out of high school. I think San Clemente in 2015, a long time ago.
Yeah.
I can't remember the year.
2015, 14th overall.
It was a long, and it was a long time ago out of high school. Then in 2019, he was traded for Chris Martin, traded to the Rangers for Chris Martin, and I thought he was a left. I kind of liked from the eye test. I thought this guy had stuff, and he pitched poorly in Texas over 4 seasons. Then in 2022, reacquired for Jake Odorizzi. He's coming off the 60-day IL, making his first start of the season. He had a grade 2 oblique strain in March. He's had a couple appearances in AAA Gwinnett. That surprised me how fast they brought him up. Now, we know that Shawver and some of their young pitchers, Dylan Dodd, some of them have not succeeded. But I was surprised. So he's only thrown 6 2/3 through 8 Ks, and here he is in the big leagues. And this is I think what it was, C-Mac, was what a perfect spot to bring him up. Because Twins are not hitting lefties at all. 200, 637 OPS. The Twins lineup's been out for a while, and it's, no Correa, of course, with the elephant foot, and Solano, Buxton, Lewis, 1, 2, 3, but Farmer, Castro, Kirilov, Vasquez, Taylor, and Joey Gallo. If you have, they don't want Joey Gallo going up against a lefty. I mean, those are automatic outs. And this is how weak this no depth offensively, this Twin squad. The Braves rating 311, 949 OPS versus righties, and both bullpens have been very good. Very good. So let's just set this up here and hand it over to C-Mac. 83 Fahrenheit, 5.8 miles per hour out to left center, gets up to 7.4 miles per hour. Let's move over to Ballpark Pal. Shoot, I thought I had Ballpark Pal. I don't. And I really want to know what they have to say about this. So let me just move over quickly to Ballpark Pal. Here we go. And see what their park factors are here. So we have Truist Park plus 5% home runs, minus 8% doubles and triples, plus 5% singles, plus 2% runs. So, we have 4 different stadiums here that are double-digit plus runs expectations. This is not one of them, even though it's very hot. This is not one of them, just plus 2% run expectation. So let's move over to the line history here next up and get this. God damn, why don't I have? Sorry, I thought I had all this stuff up here, but let's go here to the line history and the cash flow. First, we will. Oh shit! Sorry, a little messed up here to get this start. I took everything off my computer, so I apologize for that. But let's just talk about the cash because I've got that up here right now. 72% of the tickets, 77% of cash on the Atlanta Braves. So we have 72 and 77 on the Atlanta Braves. So you would expect the market to be, moving towards the Braves. And if that was the case, I would already be on Allard and the Braves. That's not the case. There's been 4 cents of movement to the Braves. We've seen as high as minus 157 at just before 1 in, as low as we had minus 162 at 7:51 a.m. But from that point, from 7:51 a.m. to 10:42 a.m., there was a 15-cent move to the Minnesota Twins. Got down to minus 147, and it's come back to the Braves. So we have 4 cents of movement to the Braves, which I don't think is enough. From a total scenario, this, again, I was looking at a sneaky under here. This total opened up at 10, dropped to 9.5, 10, 9.5. Yeah. At that point, even if it was at 10 right now, which it is, but even if that's all that happened, got 9.5, 10, 9.5, 10, I would be very interested in the under. But it got up to 10.5 there at 10:30. So, and this is what we're going to be talking about throughout this whole card, is just conflicting info or just not enough correlation. My guy Grit and Grind in the house. What up, Grit? It was great watching you on the live stream, the live sweat last night, Grit. 70% of tickets and 55% of cash is on the over. So 30 and 45 on the under. I guess I am sort of interested in the under. I guess I am. But Braves versus righties, can Maeda slow them down? Can we trust Allard? I mean, there's so many ifs and question marks. Take it away for us. Maybe you can provide clarity, CMAC, Twinkies, Braves.
Yeah, let's since you're going on the total here. By the way, shout out to the chat, to everyone. I can't hit them all, but as you did, shout out to everyone. I appreciate it. And like you guys said, hit the like button. You just mentioned it. Just this 30 minutes ago, this total, Jimmy, there was a few 9.5s out there. I saw like 3 of them. Now all 10s, and some places 10.5 here on this total. So yeah, can we get a sneaky under here? I can't take it though. Here, what do we get from Maeda? He was very good his last start. I went against him, I believe, with Wentz, our guy here. Didn't pitch that bad, but lost. We'll get to him later in the show. But yeah, Maeda coming off the tricep injury. He could get hit around. The Braves just keep continuing to hit, and it just takes one inning for them. It seems like in these games, that Phillies game, it took extras. Yesterday was just the first, but they can get 4 or 5 in any inning. I was on the Braves yesterday. Here, the price is a little big here for Allard. He's a fade for me. I think the Twins can get to him here a little bit. That's another reason why I'm not going to mess with the total. So in the end, I'm off. I don't want the Twins. At this price, I don't have enough trust to bet this team as a dog, especially right now.
These bullpens are so strong.
Yeah,
and I'm surprised I'm saying that Twins bullpen is strong. And
yeah, Twins right now 5th.
And Slatsy's moving on the over 48.5. Interesting. I had wanted the under bad Slatsy. I just need a little bit more time. TJ, sorry, I'm so you said as soon as it hit 10.5, you bet it about 10:30, just hit it again on Heritage. Does that mean as soon as it hit 10.5, you took the under? I'm trying to see if anybody can give me more confidence on this. Yes, Justin McAfee stacks play today is the Twins team total over 4.5. I would like to.
There's 6's first 5 here too.
Yeah, they're only offering me a 5.5 at +110, but I can pull up Bet Online. So TJ did move on the under. Billy Friedrich, the Twins lineup does not look great. Let's see this Braves lineup here. Acuna, Albies, Riley, Olsen, Darno, Ozuna, Rosario, Arcia, Harris. God damn, that's a good lineup, man. That is a tough lineup for Maeda. Let's just go over. We're going to spend a little bit more time on this one, obviously, because it's what can get us through our day and also get us off to a winning start. Because the next game, we have this early game, then we have the 4:10 p.m. game, and then it's all 7 p.m. game. So let's just go to the matchups here. Have these guys seen much of Maeda? Acuna 1 for 3 off of him. Olsen 3 for 4 off of him. Look at Ozuna.
Yeah, double and 2 jacks.
Damn it. Damn. Correa not in the lineup, but he can't touch Allard. Look at Gallo hitting 1 for 3 against. I always think Gallo can't hit lefties. He got it, took Allard out there.
Yeah, that was a lucky buy. Every once in a while, he gets one of those.
And nut flush answers, I think Kenta gets rocked. And Billy Friedrich going with the Twins team total under 4. Well, Philly Backwood says people be thinking too hard about this. Atlanta's just on a different level. Nobody's questioning how much better Atlanta is than the Twinkies. No one's questioning that. It's just Allard.
Yeah, so here, real quick, it's the juice. For me, it's Allard. So then if not, you want to go home team run line here, cut this, or would you rather go team total, if you don't mind that. And the full game's 5.5. I'm sure first 5's 3.5, probably even money. You got to get 6. there. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, no, I get the whole process. And look, if anybody wants just to, bet the Braves anytime that the number is, decent because they have a weak pitcher on the mound. Look, I get it. You look at this. This is wild. Bet Online has this total at 10 at -110 each way. It's crazy.
Weird.
I've got the 10. That's a 20-cent difference in what's at Bet365. And other books have 10.5. That's just crazy. If anybody wants the over, go to Bet Online and bet it right now. And Mally Mal looking at the under 10.5. Okay. Viper on the Braves -1. Isaiah B on the Braves -1.5. Rocco Rogers on Braves team total over 5. Braves team total over 5.5. And then look at all those props.
Yeah, here are the props. Let's get on them real quick in this one since this is our only game. All these Braves have a slew. There's not a ton of value. Obviously, they've been hitting a ton. Azuna, all these guys, Olsen, Riley, Acuna. This guy's been one of the hottest ones. Harris, I looked at him here. He had a homer last night. His Jack's over 600 now, is over 1.5. He's hit safe 11 or 13 games. His over 1.5 is right around +135. I'd look with him, Harris here. Flip side, I kind of like this. This guy cashed for me a ton the last couple of years, Jimmy, and that's Kyle Farmer. And he's in the 4-hole here. He eats lefties, That's just kind of his thing. He doesn't get to play, obviously every day. But, 273 last year, 309 the year before. I kind of like his 1.5 at +145. I was hoping to get maybe a better number there, but I like it.
Is there anything you want to make official for our record keeping?
Yeah, let me look around if I get something better with that.
Okay.
I kind of want it over 150, but I might move on Farmer.
Okay. Well, I'll just put Farmer question mark here. We still have 47 minutes before it pops off. So Farmer with a question mark for CMAC. You know what? I'm gonna. I'm interested in the under. Early start. Getaway day. I am. I'm interested in the under. I like these bullpens, but I sort of believe in what Piker's saying here. He's saying I capped this one right on the nose, not seeing anything value wise, but under looks interesting, but he can't justify it. Topset agreeing with the under. So I would like to see if this moves to 10.5, but actually the 10 at +110 it's kind of appealing. I kind of like that plus money there beside it. Okay, I'm not going to hum and haw here with you guys, but I do have 46 minutes to make a decision, and I think I'm going to move on the full game under here. And let's just go. Sorry, you guys. I know that it's so important to get this day off to a good start, and we know how high these goddamn stakes are. Pinnacle has this at 10. So it stopped being at 10.5 at 10:36, and then it moved to 10 with the over at -113 and under at +100. Then there was a 4-cent move. It's gone back 2 cents. I kind of like that plus money spot there. Kind of like that +110 spot. I think that's kind of like the implied probability here. Okay, I think I'm going to move on this under, but I won't sit here in hum-a-ha. I'll let you guys know if I do, but I think I will. Let's move on. 4:10 p.m. Eastern, Washington Nationals at Seattle Mariners. We just heard, and Netflix saying the fact that Kenta looked good in the last start is a perfect spot for Atlanta. Smash spot, team total over. I just always pause in those early games. Yeah, early games are an issue. And Dav Fenn on that Braves first 5 -1/2. We heard Topset. He's on the first 5 under 5 in Washington. Seattle here. Corbin versus Logan Gilbert. Obviously, we know how difficult it is to trust Patrick Corbin, especially on the road. 67 Fahrenheit in Seattle, 6.8 miles per hour out to right center, 6.8 down to 6.4 miles per hour. Let's see what Ballpark Pal has here. We have T-Mobile plus 9% homers, minus 14% doubles and triples, minus 4% overall. Interesting. The total, why don't we start with the total here? Opened up at 8 and moved to 8.5. It opened up at 8 at a pick'em at 5:47 p.m. yesterday. At 11:05 at night, it moved to 8.5, which is where it is right now. So a move to the over. Let's take a look at this here. Money line, we have no real move. Actually, there has been a move. I thought there had been a real move towards Gilbert, but there has been a move, and it's been pretty constant, just small, minus 233 to minus 242. So 9 cents of movement towards the Seattle Mariners. So we have a move to the Mariners and a move to the over. Let's see what we got here for cash-wise. 90% of the tickets and 93% of the cash on the over. And look, it's gone from 8 to 8.5. I know the public loves, betting overs when Corbin's out there, but Logan Gilbert is kind of a tricky pitcher to figure out when he's going to be on. Then you have 92% of the tickets and 71% of cash on the Mariners. Londo's on Seattle minus 1.5, says Seattle will smash them. Sean Pulliam says, just what up, Sharon? Great to see you, man. And Troy Torrance says he's off. He's got meetings. Says, wish he could have made it to the O's game. Orioles first half and full game double up here for Troy Torrance. So let's grab that here right now. And that will correlate with Ron Crawford's action. So we got this here. Billy Freezer says, Corbin like JP Spears later on tonight is a pitcher that hitters need to jump on their first pitch. Newcorker says Corbin is a gas can lately. And Mike M says home teams facing a starter who beat them in the previous matchup as a dog are 103-16 straight up, an 81-38 run line when the line is shorter than the home team starter's previous start. He says that's a nice sample size. Let's discuss this spot here. So Corbin, 4.9, 5.32 ERA, 1.61 whip. Look, the contract that he signed is just being an abomination for just a weight around the Nationals' neck. Last start, he went 5 innings, 7 hits, 7 earned runs, 2 homers, 3 Ks, 3 walks, and a 13-3 loss at the Padres. On the road, he's been especially bad. 6.34 ERA, 28 Ks and 21 walks. How's that for a K walk ratio? Also 11 home runs, 296 opponent's batting average. Sharpie says these Nats are live today. Says Corbin should do just fine versus this shitty-ass Mariners team. And he is right. The one thing that shocked me, that I almost was like, is this real? Is that the Mariners have started to smash lefties.
A little bit. They're moving up, yeah. And they've hit the last week at least.
Yeah. But that I was like, what? I didn't realize that had happened. Since June 1st, 313 and an 800 OPS. And we saw what the Padres did to Corbin. Logan Gilbert, 5-4, 4.07 ERA, 1.02 whip. His last start was a thing of beauty at the Orioles. 7 innings, 1 earned run. It was a solo shot, 5 Ks, 1 walk. At home, sometimes he's on, sometimes he's off. I can't. It's both George Kirby and Logan Gilbert are not easy caps right now. Yep. 36 innings, 4 ERA, 38 strikeouts, and 6 walks. Great K to walk ratio, but has allowed 7 home runs in 36 innings, 209 opponent's batting average. And Equinimus says Corbin automatic over, and that generally speaking is something I want to take advantage of. I know the public's always going to bet overs in Corbin starts, so I'm always going to look at the under, and I couldn't get it today. It's just too low of a total. Nats are 259, 701 versus righties. Nats bullpen's been terrible, 5.51 ERA. Mariners bullpen's been really bad too since June 1st, 4.44 ERA. Take it away for us here, CMAC, Nationals, Mariners.
Yeah, with the total, do these sticks just keep, hitting? Because both teams have been pretty good, especially the Mariners the last week or so. And you mentioned since June 4th, and they've moved up, 19th against lefties. They were down to bottom 3 or 4. This number's too big. You just talked about it, Jimmy, with Gilbert. I have just no confidence in him right now, especially to be laying a number like this when he was just money for me last year, his first 5 unders, and at the prices you would get. This is too big here. Corbin, I think he'll be a little bit better. Obviously, he got shelled finally, kind of was pitching decent, going 5 or 6 innings, only giving up 3 runs. I think there's value with the Nats here. I don't know if I move on him. but I'm always interested in one of these big dogs.
Yeah, and I mean, after that spectacular display of pitching in Baltimore from Logan Gilbert, what the hell are we going to get here?
Yeah,
okay,
he was good.
I just moved. Also, that Minnesota Atlanta under 10 moved before I could bet it. I could not get the plus 110. Moved to plus 105, and I moved on it. So, still cannot believe a 15-cent. It was 20-cent difference than what BetOnline's offering. But I am in on that first spot under 10 at plus 105. I'll tweet it out in a little bit. New Corker says you can't lay minus 250 with the M's. Rocco Rogers says I think Corbin does well here. And Billy Friedrich says in Corbin 16 starts this season, the game total has been 9 or over in 9 of 16, so just about 50-50. And Robert Franklin talking about how hard Mariners have been hitting lefties. So that's that surprised me. Okay, so I agree. I don't see, obviously the total was a little lower than people expected, and we know people want to fade Corbin and can only do that at a decent price with the total.
Yeah.
So Tommy didn't just say that. Says I don't understand laying this price with the Mariners offense. They find ways to lose games. Just blew a game last night when they had bases loaded. No, at the bottom of the 10th. No thanks. Stimmy OG says Gilbert better go the whole game because Mariners bullpen's gassed. Troy Torrance says the market knows best when it comes to Mariners. If line moves towards them, but the Mariners moves away, fade them. Rocco Rogers says I faded him hard. Speaking about Corbin, San Diego, but the Seattle team can't hit. Yes, I know that they have struggles hitting, but look what they're doing to lefties. Troy Torrance says that first 3 under 2.5 at minus 115 looks enticing. And Sharpie saying, not saying I'm a Corbin backer here, but Seattle hasn't seen one left-handed pitcher that he would put his money on in the span of them hitting mediocre to bottom-end pitchers. So, okay.
What happens, too? I mean, in the last couple of days, they've jumped on, and scored runs early.
Yeah, I can't. I'm actually, you know what, in all honesty, I'm pretty excited that I have action on that afternoon game. I'm a little concerned with this card, just not enough stuff that I felt, correlated enough. And so we're going to blow past this one. Top set saying Corbin positive regression. We've been thinking that for a while. Quinniman says, will Corbin get shelled again? He thinks so. Okay, well, let's move on. So those are the 2 games that start before 7 o'clock, and I'm excited that I have one of them. Sharpie says the question here should be, are the Mariners finally becoming what they were supposed to be, or is this a blip? It's funny. They just can't seem to put it together, everything together. Everything is this. There's not been one stretch this year where they're hitting and their starting pitching's good and their relief pitching's good. It always seems to be one of those 3 missing here. All right, let's move on. 7:05 p.m. Eastern. We already heard Troy Torrance, who's got to bounce for a meeting, was hoping that we get to this Orioles game soon because he's on first half, full game, double up on the Baltimore Orioles. And Ron Crawford here is the spreadsheet play of the day, is on the Baltimore Orioles on the -1 line. And shout out to our Ron Crawford. All right, we're in Charm City, Baltimore, Maryland. Cincinnati Reds 42-38, 21-18 on the road. At the Baltimore Orioles 48-30, 25-15 at home. We have Luke Weaver going up against Kyle Gibson. We talk about some of these pitchers being tricky, and obviously we all dream about predictability. That's our favorite thing in handicapping is predictability. And I've always struggled to figure out when Kyle Gibson would be on. And here we have an opening line for the Orioles at -168 at 5:47 p.m. yesterday. And there was a big move away from the Orioles. So there was a big move, towards the Reds. And I was very curious to see what would happen. So there was 13-cent move towards the Reds in the first 6 hours that was available from -168 to -155. And then there was a move back to the Orioles. The Orioles got up to -172. So at that point, from 11:30 at night till 9 in the morning, there was a 17-cent move back to the Orioles, and then again buyback. So at this point, since this opened at Pinnacle, there's been 7 cents of movement to the Cincinnati Reds. And so when that happens, I try to think, okay, why do I think that there's sharps here? Now, I haven't looked at the money line, but I imagine that that's the case. Why are there sharps on Cincinnati? And the first thing because we know what Dreamweaver does on the mound. He's awful. And so the first thing I thought was, well, it's because people are making so much money off the Reds over the last little while.
Yeah.
And they're just going back to the well, right? They keep cashing on a team. They're just going back to the well. That was but I mean, sharps, and syndicates don't work like that. But that was my first kind of thought here. Let's take a look at the total. So we know there's been a 7-cent move to the Reds. Let's take a look at this total here. This total opened up at 9.5. Opened up 9.5. Really juiced to the under, and at minus 115 to plus 102. So it's really juiced to the under, and then it moved further towards the under. A 4-cent move in the first 4 hours, and then it came back. So at this point, there's been 6 cents of movement to the over at 9.5. TJ says because it's a high variance game, toss up. Yeah, that's well put. High volatility with these two pitchers on the mound, so take the dog. Piker saying the same thing. There's Markel in the house. What up, Markel? Says this is another high volatility spot from Piker. He says where I could only take the dog, and that's what I did. I will say the price was barely right. Also on the over 9, booked that last night. And Nutflush has moved on the Braves team total over 5.5 at minus 105. Look, I get it, Nutflush, and respect it. Mike M says Reds have won 9 in a row after a win. That's a team that can't put them down back to back. They were hot, got put on ice a little against the Braves, but I expect them to run back again. DC Capper on the over 9.5. Mike M said I wouldn't lay minus 170 on Kyle Gibson. That's how you get a bag put over your head and kicked in the nuts. Wow. I didn't realize that's how that worked. Vital said it is an O spot, but can you live with the juice? So let's take a look at that cash and then the weather, and then hand it over to CMAC. Let's see what the cash has to say about this spot. So 47% of the tickets and 94% of the cash on the Reds. Wow. Good God. I didn't realize that was it. 92% of tickets and 99% of cash on the over. Good God. Really? 99% of cash on the over right now? 81 Fahrenheit, 8.7 miles per hour left to right. Dies down to 6.5 miles per hour. And Ballpark Pal has Oriole Park plus 20% home runs, plus 11% runs. Why would the market not be moving closer to this? Joe Yervin says the market does not like Gibson, but they hate Weaver. That's well put. So Dreamweaver last start was awful. 11-10 win at home versus the Braves. Now, the Braves are a tough team to pitch against, but 3 1/3, 7 hits, 5 earned runs. On the road, he's been better than he's been at home. It's easy to figure out. We know what kind of offense happens at Great American Ballpark. On the road, 5.81 ERA, 26 Ks in 31 innings with 11 walks, 5 home runs. But listen to this, 323 opponents batting average. And then you have Kyle Gibson, who's either on or off, and right away. Coming off a 13-1 loss at home versus the Mariners, he was off. That was the spot up against Logan Gilbert. 4.34 ERA, 1.34 whip on the year. He led 5 earned runs in the first 3 innings there. At home, 38 2/3, 4 3, 4.42 ERA. 35 strikeouts, 15 walks, 4 homers with a 275 opponent's batting average. Reds are smashing righties since June 1st. All of the stats that I give for righties, lefties, and bullpen will be from June 1st, so I don't want to keep mentioning that. Reds versus righties, 258, 803 OPS. Orioles versus righties, 260, 761. And the Reds bullpen, who would have thunk this, has been out pitching the Orioles bullpen by a pretty wide margin since June 1st. So here we go. Let's get to work. Take it away, CMAC, Reds, Orioles.
Yeah, that's a big one. What Troy just put in there. Orioles 10-2, but all that money, and it's just not really moving, here at all to the Reds. What you think? But I think this is an Orioles spot, and I thought the Reds were a good play last night. I didn't take it. I also think there's runs. I don't know how you don't. I didn't pull the trigger. A lot of places is 4.5. Last night I had a 4.5 with this Orioles team total plus 105. I didn't take it, and now that's juiced in the 5.5, so around plus 115, 120. I want to get on the Orioles here. I don't see how Weaver. I think he's minimal. If he goes 5 innings, he gives up 3 or 4 runs here. So I just don't know how I'm going to jump on those minus the half. and I didn't take that team total, so at the 4.5. So I don't know how I want to play this.
Jesus, you won't believe this. That under that moved to plus 105, under 10's back at plus 110.
Mm.
God, I just hate
the
that
Braves
shit
game?
so much. Yeah, it's not that big of a, $150 unit size. I mean, what, $7.50 or some shit, but still, like, what the fuck? Yes, Timmy, the money situation for the Braves game, no problem. And thank you so much for being a member of Pub Sports Radio. The cash for that Braves game, my man, is on the total. You have 67% of tickets and 61% of the cash on the over. So it's 33-39 on the under. It was bigger than that. So it looks like some late money's coming in on the over. And then 73% tickets, 76% cash on the Braves. Joe Yurkovich says, you can get O's first 5 minus a half, minus 115. Mally Mal looking at the race to 3 for the O's. And TJ says, very few parlay pieces today. Books protecting against Baltimore parlays, killing them. That's an interesting way of looking at it. I can't do it. C-Mac, I just don't. I don't want to be on a spot with 99% of the cash.
Yeah, I don't love it too.
Yeah, I just won't do it. I don't want to ever. In fact, I don't think I'll ever be again for the rest of my life on a spot with 99% of the cash.
I might just take the over. I just don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna look at this more.
Yeah, and you know what? If we want to keep an eye on what's going on with this market, because sitting here looking at where is it? 92% of tickets and 99% of cash on the over is just not appealing to me.
Yeah, this is one. Yeah, that's early. That I like to see. Kind of later in the day, maybe if I move.
TJ says Pitt just got hit hard. It's moving everywhere. So let's move on to 7:05 p.m. Eastern. San Diego Padres 37-42, 17-20 on the road. At Pittsburgh Pirates 36-42, 19-19 at home. We're at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Again, I can't hammer it enough. Your bets can't be action in baseball. There's going to be some times where it will hurt you when you lose the bet, but much, much more of the time it will save you. Blake Snell versus Mitch Keller. Mally Mal says Snell and Mike M saying Baltimore line dropped a nickel in the last 20 seconds. That game was confusing. And look, I've been on the Snell train heavy. I didn't think he'd start pitching this spectacular, but I told everybody that he was going to turn the season around, that he was going to come on. I felt like I was ahead of the market, and I was on him in that 10-0 win, at the Giants. That was when Rick J called me a crybaby pussy, and I was on him. And, but it just feels like it's too many spectacular starts in a row. I know that sounds crazy, but it just feels like it's too many great starts in a row. And we've already heard that there's been a move towards Pirates in the last little bit. And do you want to fade Mitch Keller at home? And then to add more confusion why I've not moved on this game, because this was the first game that I looked at that wanted to move on badly. I was shocked that this total had moved to 8.5. And I say that because Pinnacle opened this at 8. And it was there for 2 hours and 15 minutes before it moved to 8.5. Then it only lasted for 37 minutes before it went to 8. At 8, it lasted there for 1 minute before it back to 8.5. And when it moved back to 8.5, it wasn't even like heavily juiced to the under. So I want to back Mitch Keller at home. And I think Snell is a hell of a pitcher. Red Girl Ron Crawford's action is Baltimore -1. Pop that here in the chat here. Baltimore -1 here. So let's get this here. So why would this go from 8 to 8.5? Let's see. Is it weather related? We'll go here to the weather because it is hot, but we know Pittsburgh is a pitcher's ballpark. 75 Fahrenheit, 7.8 miles per hour out to right center. Dies down to 5.5 miles per hour. So we'll go over to Ballpark Pal and see what they think about this spot. Plus 20% doubles and triples. Homers is at 0, but plus 20% doubles and triples, and plus 11% runs. So, and again, as Joe always points out, this is not all weather related. It's the individual batter's hitting profile and the effect of the park and weather combined. So that explains it sort of there. Oh, sorry. I meant to. That's the MLB spreadsheet play today right there. Baltimore -1. I usually have Ron Crawford before it, but there it is right there. And Sharpie says, "Ooh, we got action in this game." I love the sounds of that. And don't forget, C-Mac will also be on that show today with the Jack of the Day. So let's take a look at the line history then here for this one. We've already talked about the total. Let's get over to the money line and then hear what C-Mac has to say about this spot. We have Keller and very little movement in this spot. I kind of like Keller as a home dog here, but the Padres open up at -157, and the market moves towards them very quickly. By 10:49 p.m., so in 3 hours and 6 minutes, you have 17 cents of movement towards the Padres. And that was the high water mark. Then it just moves right back to the Pirates. So from that point, it even got higher. -173 at 10:49. It's now -152. From that point, we've had 21 cents of movement to the Pittsburgh Pirates. So overall, there's been 4 cents of movement to the Pirates, and the total's gone up a half run. When we go over to the total here, 73% of the tickets and 97% of the cash are on the under. And the market's gone from 8 to 8.5. I mean, does that not make you want to automatically bet the over here? I mean, it does for me. From a money line standpoint, you have 47% of tickets, 69% of cash on Pittsburgh. Clearly sharp action here from Pittsburgh. Sharpie says, I've said it 1,000 times just now. Nothing was wrong with Velocity or spin. He was missing down the dick of the plate or 2 feet off. He seems to have found his release point. So Blake Snell, 3.22 ERA, 1.23 whip, all of a sudden excellent numbers. Last start at the Giants, 10-0 victory, 6 innings, 11 strikeouts, no walks. On the road, he's been even better than he's been at home, 2.68 ERA, 210 opponents batting average. He's allowed 5 home runs over 43 2/3. Mitch Keller, 3.45 ERA, 1.11 whip. Mitch Keller has been very, very good this year, and we love him. We love him here. We always have loved Helen Mitch Keller. Last start was a thing of beauty. It was a 6-4 loss to the Marlins, and it should have gone under. 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 5 Ks, and no walks. And at home, he has a 195 opponent's batting average and a 2.78 ERA. Padres versus righties, 254, 738 OPS. Pirates versus lefties, just 233, 698. And the Pirates bullpen's been atrocious. 6.36 ERA since June 1st, while Padres have been very good. Just before you fire in, and I know we don't like to stop or interrupt here in the middle of a breakdown, but our guy Nate Dogg in the chat, he's stopping in drops his daughter off at daycare. He stops in the chat, and then he goes to the hospital to be with the mother of his child who's in real dire circumstances. And I love Nate Dogg, and if we could all just take a second just to let him know that he's not alone, because he's in a different city handling this right now. He's not even at where he lives. He's in a different city handling this, and so if we could just all let Nate Dogg know that he's not alone, and we got his back, and we're here for him, and we're praying for his family, and I personally, watching what he's doing here, have so much respect for how he's putting his family on his shoulders and leading him through these extremely difficult times. So if you guys could all just take a second and let Nate Dogg know that we are here for him, and that he's inspiring us all with how he's taking care of his family and stopping everything to take care of his family. So if we could take a second there, Nate Dogg, we love you, and thinking about you and sending as much positive energy to you and your family. C-Mac, I know you want to say something towards Nate Dogg as well, so hit that and then take it away from Padres Pirates.
Yeah, prayers for my guy Nate Dogg. Always, of course, supported you since way back. Me as well. Jimmy, great guy. So hope everything's on up and up. Great guy. Shout out to Nate Dogg. Bears, my dude. All right, let's get to this one here. I'm going to take the Pirates here. I got to find the best number, first 5. You talked about it. Padres bullpen's been good. They got banged around. One of the games I wanted to take was that over, but it was 9.5 yesterday. I didn't, and man, there was just runs early. I was like, shit. When you look at this, I want to take the under here, but they think one of these guys gets hit, and maybe Snell's due. He's just been, man, on point. We haven't seen this since Tampa, 2018, 2019, right? The World Series, even 2020. And going deeper, he hasn't been walking guys in these last 3 starts, 11, 12 Ks for Snell. Pirates hit lefties well. They don't hit him. Only 3 guys. They're 1 for 24. It's just McCutchen and a couple others. And then the flip side, though, Padres are 20-53 here off Keller. But I want to back him at home as a dog here, Jimmy. And I'm not impressed with this Padres team. Maybe they get it going with all this talent at some point. And maybe they win today. If you like the Padres, I would take a run line full game. Like you mentioned, we talked about the bullpens. The difference of the Pirates bullpen has been great, but I think Keller can pitch well here at home. So I'm going to roll first 5 here.
First 5 Pirates. Let me help with the looking for you. Look, I can't make a bet that is solely on the market. Now you could say there's a little bit of weather included, but I just don't. How can I feel comfortable doing that? So what I've done is I've let it just take me off spots. But I tell you what, there's a reason why CMAC is focusing on the first 5 and not the full game. This would have been back in the day in Costa Rica, a spot where you would imagine when Heritage was offering the second half overs that Pete would move on the second half over. Sharpie says the last 5 lefties I would bet on versus Pittsburgh have manhandled them. Montgomery, JP Sears, Garrett, Luzardo didn't get more than 2 earned runs versus where 2 of them went 7 innings. Rocco says, I understand Snell is due, but this is what he does at this time of year. And now he's facing another lineup that can't hit a lefty. Snell, K, ladder. Okay. So now last year when I was changing how I bet baseball, TJ was tracking the spots like this where I was like, okay, I'll just let it take me off and not move on the other side. If I had moved on the other side, I would have hit it a 70% clip, but I just still can't do it. Like it just doesn't feel like, just because of the market, the only thing I've got Will Hill giving us the best book on the Pirates first 5 or best number at plus 130.
Yeah, that's what I see too. Caesars, Will Hill, yeah.
CMAC on the Pirates first 5 at plus 130 and recognize CMAC's average line at plus 110 on the year, which has him 12 and 11 on our show, but with a plus 10% ROI. Mike M says, I like this first 5 under 4.5, seeing a full game move down, and the first half is starting to see 4s. By the way,
yeah.
I
like the under too, real quick.
Yeah.
That's what I initially, even last night.
This is my own bullshit, but now the full game Twins Braves has gone down a dime. So it went from plus 105 when I bet, and then back up to plus 110, and I freaked out. Now it's at even money, so that's good. Okay, Mally Mal Sparks first half money line plus 110. Christopher Comtini says Padres are not a bet on team. Cuban Connect says Padres suck on the road. Give me the Pirates. Okay, I'm off this one. CMAX on the Pirates, first 5 at plus 130. Let's move on to the game up here, 7:07 p.m. Eastern, and it's perfect that we have our friend Nutflush Allen in the chat. San Francisco Giants, 45-34, 22-15 on the road. At the Toronto Blue Jays, 43-37, 21-15 at home. We're at Rogers Center in Toronto, Ontario. It's hard to believe this baseball team is in the thick of the wild card race because I don't know how anybody. I told you guys that June 23rd was the date to move on the futures on the Blue Jays, and June 23rd came. I was like, I can't put a future on this baseball team. But they are 6 games over 500, and they're 1 winning streak away from being the first wildcard team. Christopher Comentini says, how about those Giants yesterday? Man, did they look good? And look, I want to bet every Gausman start, and I should have still been on the under. But at least I didn't bet on Gausman yesterday. I fear the Giants enough. Let's take a look at. Every conversation in Vietnamese sounds like a fight. So I'm sure that's a loving conversation out there, but it's a screaming and yelling, loving conversation. Okay, Logan Webb against Trevor Richards here. Let's take a look at. So it's a bullpen day, though. Don't get too caught up in Trevor Richards pitching there. They'll see if he can go 4, but it won't be anything more than that. We just have markets coming out with this action. Pinnacle. We'll talk about what Pinnacle's done with it here. Pinnacle opened this up 50 minutes ago. They opened it up with the Jays at -116. And interestingly enough, there was a big 9-cent move towards the Jays at 11:25 a.m. So at that point, it was -121. Now we've had buyback on the Giants. So at this point, a 4-cent move to the Giants. Again, this line's not even been out for an hour at Pinnacle, but we've had a 4-cent move to the Giants, which did include something of a move away. Then we have this 8.5. It opened up at -107 to the under. It's now -101 to the under. So we've had 6 cents of movement to the over and a 4-cent move to the Giants. We only have 2,420 tickets counted, 76% of tickets and 94% of cash on the Giants. Then we have, let's move over to the total. We have 53% of tickets and 97% of cash on the over. That is very interested. TJ says, I'm still limited because no starters listed, so I can only bet action with lower limits, but he's on San Francisco. Newquarker says Dome will be closed because we're sucking up smoke here in the Big Smoke. Good call, Newquarker. I should have mentioned that. Excellent call. So we don't need to worry about any of that roof information. But let's talk about Logan Webb, 7-6, 3.16 ERA, a 1.10 whip on the year. He's been very good. And on the road, he always struggles more than he does at Oracle. But his numbers aren't bad, but they're not elite. Well, they're good. 4-3, 3.84 ERA, 55 strikeouts, 12 walks, 7 home runs, 252 opponents batting average. It's a bullpen day, and Trevor Richards has been pretty good lately. And he loves coming out of the pen. 53 strikeouts and 35 2/3. Who would have ever thought that Trevor Richards would be able to throw like that? Giants are hitting 255, 758 OPS versus righties since June 1st. Jays 254, 736. Giants bullpen 2.70 ERA. Jays bullpen 4.15 ERA since June 1st. Take it away for us, C-Mac and Mike M giving us a little angle. Toronto 0-10 versus the NL West last 10 games. What are your thoughts here? Giants, Jays.
Yeah, what do you think here with the Jays bullpen day here?
I think that there's a bias with how well the Giants are playing, how the Giants beat Gaussman yesterday, and I think people will be making a ton of money on the Giants. And
yeah, that's exactly what I was kind of thinking. Because just to me, it would just pull the trigger here with the Giants and Logan Webb. But this is where I fade him, is on the road, Jimmy. And I've done it a few times, even this year. But he's been pretty good on the road. You know, he's had a couple starts where he gave up 4, but he hasn't given up more than 4 in any start all year. I could see him giving up a few in this one. I love that under yesterday. I kind of like the over here, but I just don't know if I can get there here with the Giants. You know, the last month they've been hitting, but, you know, I don't know. This one was tricky for me when I was going through it last night. Does Richard go 1, or do you think he goes 3?
I think he'll go 3.
Okay. That's what I was thinking.
Guess. Yeah, I think he'll go 3. But why don't we
Where's Nutflush at? Is he in here?
Yeah, we need the whispers.
Yes.
We need the whispers. I gave you guys, what did he do in his last start? His last appearance. Oh, I didn't even write down his last appearance because it's bullpen day. Let's just go. I'm just going to take a quick look at what Trevor Richards has done of late, but he's been really good. And I don't know if you guys know about Manoah, but Manoah went up against 17 and 18-year-olds at the complex down in Florida. Got touched for 11 runs. In 2 1/3.
What is wrong with that, dude?
17 and 18-year-olds. It's just, I mean, these are like highly thought of 17, 18-year-olds.
Yep.
Still, it's a huge problem. So they were talking about when do they give Manoah a spot start. They're like, oh, there's a good chance against Detroit before the All-Star break. That's not fucking.
I don't think so.
So we go back. So the last start was a 1 2/3 against Oakland. The one before that was with just 1 inning. But before that, he went 3 innings. So he started 2 games, and he went 3 innings in both of them. The first one was at home versus Texas, and he was lights out. 7 strikeouts and 1 walk in 3 innings, allowed just 1 hit. The next one was on the road at Texas, and he allowed 3 earned runs in the 3, on the road. And then his splits come into this because at home he's throwing 19 in the 3rd innings, and he's being spectacular. 1.86 ERA, 176 opponent's batting average, 29 strikeouts and 5 walks. It's on the road where he's been getting tagged, 5.51 ERA. And to take that even further, in the day, he's been very good as well compared to the night, which I don't put too much into it. TJ says Richards could. And there's not Flush Allen. We'll have info for us in a minute. Joe Urias to San Francisco won 5 of the last 6 starts. And Piker is on the under 8.5 and first 5 under 4.5 in that Pirates game. So he's interesting. And Richard, so interesting.
Yeah, shout out to Joe. Webb has won 5 or 6. And like I cash, that Rockies game, it was the first 5. They blew the game. But I might gotta say that at least. Giants won full game. I won first 5.
I can't do it. I would bet the under. I'm just not going to go up against this amount of cash on the over. There's some huge bets being placed on the over. Which would actually lead me towards a Jays first 5 then. But I can't do that either. So
it seems like the Jays could just have a day, or I could see them just get shut down here with Webb.
The Jays offense is not humming. Vladdy is. I mean, when when your best hitter is Whit Merrifield, that maybe there's a problem here. I mean, we have Merrifield. If you told me that Whit Merrifield and Kiermaier would be hitting this way, I think, we must be leading the division.
Yeah, but how good they've been.
We never thought Vladdy. That was this past weekend was Vladdy's first home run at home this year.
Oh, I know. I was shocked. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I can't do it. I'm not going to I'm not going to. If I'm going to go up against market moves or go up against other things, then I want to have a lot of confidence on it. Let's see. Billy Freeze saying Merrifield 0-3 for the Crazy. So I'm off. Do you want to move on this, C-Mac, or do we roll on?
Let's roll on.
Let's do it. So we just talked about a bullpen day with the Blue Jays, and I don't think the Blue Jays bullpen has been that bad. There's been times where it's been good, and it hasn't been that bad. But the next team that we are going to be talking about, the next home team, the Boston Red Sox, also have a bullpen day, and we have a capper who knows this team inside and out. Star of the Say Hey plays of the day. Please welcome to the show, young Jose Bouquet. Jose, how are you, my friend?
Nonplussed.
Oh,
nonplussed.
Is this marriage related or just?
No, it's just being a shitty capper. No, that's still on course. Still going great there. But you know how it goes, Jimmy. Once your bets go down in flames, maybe your marriage is next. Who knows? But it's just a shitty day yesterday. I got fucking destroyed on the Red Sox game, and I'm gonna have the fucking dumbass idea to bet on them again. So here we are.
Here we are. Oh, and the answer to the question was the Red Sox gave up 19 hits and 10 runs.
Yes, they were.
I can understand the frustrations. You worked your ass off to come so close to the black, but just trust how you did that and think about what your record is as soon as you started sort of changing your philosophy, and it's a winning record, a very easy winning record. And Jake Valent calling you sweet tits. Does that help? Because you take a lot of negative
You know, I will admit, after getting my ass kicked last night and being very annoyed, it was really nice to have Razor Sharp Picks quote tweet the video of the NBA Finals or whatever the fuck it was, the Eastern Conference Finals again, to bring that up. So I was this.
I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
Hey, good. Hey, thank you for your service. I appreciate it. I was this close to blocking him. This close. And if he comments in the comments right now, I'll be this close to blocking him on the YouTube too. But here we are. Do you have a line for this game? Because I don't.
Let's pull. Danny Lopez, young naive tits.
Yeah, it is. Fucking young dumbass tips. Fucking idiot over here. Piss me off.
Don't beat yourself up, man. Yes, we have lines plenty. Let's start with the total. This total opened up at 10:25 a.m. at Pinnacle at 9. Lasted there for 11 minutes before it moved to 9.5. Then, so one thing that we're going to talk about often with these market moves is this move to 9.5 heavily juiced to the under. Sometimes it moves to 9.5 at almost a pick 'em, and that's when you know books were really concerned here. This was a simple move to minus 116 to the under 9.5. Now it's down to minus 110 to the under 9.5. So we have a half run move to the over. Let's take a look at the money line here. We have at Pinnacle these Boston Red Sox opening up at plus 108. Again, this was at 10:25 a.m. After an hour and 34 minutes of being available, there'd been no move. Since noon, in the last 17 minutes, this has had a 12-cent move to the Miami Marlins. A big move to the Marlins.
They're the fucking best team in baseball, apparently. I've not seen a better team, a better single game performance against the Red Sox than what the Marlins did last night. I watched the game and I've been sitting here for the last fucking 12 hours thinking, are the Marlins going to make the playoffs? Are the Marlins really this good? Because I literally I was just baffled at how good they were. Just the lineup 1 through 9, just smacking the shit out of the ball. Their fucking pitching is good. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, where's Derek Jeter when you need him?
Yeah, he's a fucking loser. We all knew that, the most overrated player in baseball history. What a fucking loser that guy is.
Real quick,
yeah, please.
Jimmy, our guy Rem Most, are you on that total in the Braves game?
Yes, I moved on the under 10. I got it at plus 105.
All right, I want action. Give me Farmer over 1.5 plus 145.
Maybe the nicest thing I've ever heard from Rem Most as well. Thank you, Rem Most.
Over 1.5 bases at plus 145.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I like. I love Ramos. Ramos, my dude, man. He's
reinvited to the wedding.
Yeah, please, because he's money in the bank. I love him. I had my back since I started, and I love capping with him. Okay, so here, so that was plus 145 on Farmer over 1.5 bases. Back to this Marlins Red Sox spot. So we've seen a move to the Marlins, and we've seen a move to the over. It is 73 Fahrenheit, 8.1 miles per hour out to. Oh, I was going to say, sorry, before that, I was going to say, who wants to go up against the Marlins in the wild card game with Yuri Perez on the mound?
Nobody. Their fucking again. Their lineup is fucking incredible. It's unbelievable.
I'm so ready to bet the Marlins in that first wild card game.
It is just. And by the way, for the love of God, do not start Sandy Alcantara in that game one. Please, for the love of
they won't. They won't.
Please, God, don't do that.
I got bad news though about Rem. Unfortunately, Jose.
Oh shucks. God damn it. I'm very disappointed. But I'm so just baffled because this team has been good and they didn't have Jazz Chisholm. And guess what? Jazz Chisholm immediately double. And then a single by Garrett Cooper, and he's the fucking one of the fastest players in baseball, and he fucking gets in on a single immediately. It was, oh my God, it was sickening.
And everybody's saying Sandy's definitely pitching that wild card game.
Well, they say it, but yeah, I don't blame him because he's a big dog, all that shit.
And Yuri might get shut down since Christian Larson.
Well, if they're
there's a long way to go. I was gonna say
if they're in the playoff race, I think they'll actually ride the big dog. But they definitely have the history of shutting down my guy Jose Fernandez. And by the way, let's not forget that the wild card game is now 3 games as well, I believe. So it's not single game and die anymore, right?
Mike is doing his best. He says he put a comment for us in the San Francisco game. Says sorry, he's knee high in the surf, fishing and capping. Multitasking. What a life this guy lives, man. What a life he lives. Okay, let's get back to this Red Sox spot. Let's take a look. I know there won't be a ton of info on the cash because there's only 1,885 tickets in, but 60% tickets, 70% cash on the under. And this is clearly moved to the over. Then money line wise, 68% tickets, 71% cash on the Marlins. And it feels like sharp action. Jacqueline in the house, Noli knows, rolling with us. And Sharpie says Yuri won't pitch the whole season, 75 pitch count already. Yeah, you can't start a guy on a pitch count. No, you guys are right. No, you guys are all right. Joe Yerger says clearly a backwood. Is it, though, with Braxton Garrett on the hill? Let's see what Ballpark Pal has to say. Let's get this off my computer. Let's see what Ballpark Pal has to say here. We have about Fenway, minus 8% home runs, but plus 22% doubles and triples. Again, that's wind blowing towards the monster. And then plus 11% runs. Braxton Garrett looks very, very good. 3.64 ERA, 1.15 whip. I'm a big fan of his. His last start was spectacular. 13 strikeouts and a 6-4 win at home versus the Pirates. That game should have gone under. It's too bad what happened late there. 7 innings and 1 earned run. On the road, he's been even better than he's pitched at home. And that's been an all-season thing. All season, 41 in the third, 2.18 ERA, 47 strikeouts, 9 walks. He's allowed just 2 home runs on the road with a 231 opponent's batting average. Then you have a bullpen day with the Red Sox. Caleb Ort getting it started. He's not looked very good. I mean, he can get strikeouts. He can strike people out, but other than that, he doesn't look great. But you'll know him better than us. Jose, Marlins versus righties, 269, 740. Red Sox versus lefties, 257, 788. And both bullpens have been quite good. Take it away for us here, Jose Bouquet. Marlins, Red Sox. What's your move?
To start, Caleb Bort's is everyone's least favorite reliever on this Red Sox team. So that's the first thing. He made his first opener outing, whatever you want to call it, against the Yankees the other day. Immediately gave up a home run. Pitched 2 1/3, which is shocking. But whatever. I'm not very confident in Caleb, but just thank God that I was going to say thank God there's no one in the Marlins lineup that can hit a bomb like that, but fucking Big George Soler and Dela Cruz and all those fucking guys can do it, so never mind about that. The real thing is I'm hoping he goes 1 inning and then we get my guy Chris Murphy on the bump. Chris Murphy, lefty. He's been, I guess, the relief ace of the Red Sox for the last 3 outings. He's made 3 appearances in the majors so far. He's a rookie. He's good. He's good, allegedly. We'll see. 2 innings, 1 hit, no earned runs. 2 2/3, 1 hit, no earned runs. 3 1/3, 2 hits, no earned runs for all 3 of his outings so far. I like the first 5 under here, honestly, and I might move on first 5 or full game under here in some form or fashion. And, of course, I think the Red Sox are going to win this game because guess what? This fucking Red Sox team is average. They're mid. They'll win one. They'll lose one. They're going to keep doing this for the entire year. It's going to be an 82-82 ball club with a 0-run differential. This team is average. I'm still just baffled at how good the Marlins are, honestly. I might be watching Marlins October baseball, which is shocking. But I'll take an under here. I just need to keep refreshing my sites because these bastards haven't released everything yet for us yet. But I like the first 5 under, and I'll take the Red Sox. Maybe I'll take the Red Sox full game. I don't know. I'm moving on the under for sure.
Well, bookmaker Bet Chris still have the 9. The other books have the 9.5. Interesting here because my bookie, again, we have our my bookie code and link on our website for my bookie and for Bet Online for new accounts. But my bookie opened this up at 9.5 and then quickly moved it to 9. They put this line out 2 hours before Pinnacle. It's back at 9.5 though right now. No, don't play. I've only moved on one bet, one bet today, and that was just the game that's on right now, which I am watching. And Colby Allard looks very, very good so far, but we're 2 batters in. So let's hear what CMAC has to say about this spot. Marlins, Red Sox, take it away.
Yeah, what I hear Jose rant about all the time, and he just said how average these Red Sox are. This Marlins lineup with Chisholm back is not too bad. with their eyes. Soler, Cruz, Cooper, Segura. I like them here too. I've backed Garrett a bunch this year already, and he's got it done for me. If this bullpen pitches well, I don't mind the under, but I want it off. To me, this is Marlins or no bet. I don't love the price with them, really either.
How fresh is the Red Sox bullpen right now, Jose? Pretty fresh, right? You used your bums.
Yeah, well, I used the slapdicks last night. So I expect, a good bullpen day for the Red Sox. That's why I like the under. But
Red Sox have nice numbers against lefties. Braxton Garrett just went up against a Pirates team that is not hitting lefties. Should be a tougher task. Sharpie says Braxton Garrett's one of those dogs, but like Yuri, they tend to cap him and not let him go 3 times through a lineup. Caleb Ort seems a little vulnerable. I guess is it too expensive here to take the first 3 or something like that on focus on Ort?
I'll be right back.
Let's. Are you going to move here on the? Are you moving on this under? Can we lock you in on that, or do you want to wait on that?
Yeah, I'll move on first 5 under 5 minus 105 or whatever we can get. I will tweet out my action here soon. I have it all written out already, and then I just have to bet it. I'm on all unders today, as I'm looking at my card now, actually. So it'll be an interesting day. I'm extremely pissed off in general, so it should be an interesting show at the very least. And Biff Tamden's joining us today as well, so I'm glad that I've got someone that will make me even more annoyed throughout the show as well.
Do you feel like Braxton Garrett is vulnerable here? Like, what is your confidence? You're obviously in the under, so he can't be too vulnerable. Where does the confidence in the Red Sox come from?
It's just win one, lose one. They looked like the worst team in baseball last night, so now they're gonna come back and look decent. Braxton Garrett, I think, will pitch fine. Like Sharpie's saying, he's got Garrett going 5 innings, 2 earned runs or less. I wouldn't be surprised at all at that. It's just when the bullpen starts coming in is when I think the Marlins will start capitulating there. So I believe in the Red Sox pitching here at the very least. We said, I'll probably see Chris Martin, probably see Kenley Jansen today. I like my guy Chris Murphy, good lefty. And, admittedly, the Marlins numbers against lefties are a little concerning as well. And that's why I haven't moved on the Red Sox side yet. But first 5 under. And by the way, Christopher Comencini says, Luis Ariz, we speak your name. We just have to mention his name as well. We speak your name.
Thanks, Justin. Okay. So I'm with Cuban Connect here. I'm going to move on the fish here, and I'm going to move on the fish early. But does it make you uncomfortable that Pinnacle's moved that to 5.5 at minus 120, or do you just feel like that's a better line?
It definitely makes me uncomfortable. So I'm glad I haven't bet it yet. I will, I guess, not make it official. We'll just hold off them. So.
Okay. Pinnacle has...
how Pinnacle be.
Yeah. So Pinnacle is offering that 5.5 here. I'm nervous. I don't do well if I'm almost stopping. Like I'm with you, Cuban Connect, but I don't do well fading bullpen days. Like it just.
Yeah, and Jimmy, if I wasn't convinced that this Red Sox team was just the most average, brutally bullshit team in baseball, I'd be on your side too. I just don't want to pay minus like 120 or whatever it is for the Miami Marlins on the road. Red Sox are just a good offensive team at home, I guess, except for Sandy Alcantara. She's a fucking dog.
Okay, I like Braxton Garrett. Do I want to back him after 13 strikeouts? Okay, sorry. I know that this is taking a while here, but I need to go right to Braxton Garrett here. I need to go right to him and see exactly how many pitches he threw in the last one. I know that Sharpie's saying that they don't want him to see the lineup 3 times. I would like to also look at it. His last road starts.
He also mentioned that he said, Jimmy, stick to your bullpen rule. I've noticed more and more now since I've heard it. They have good days.
They do.
And last game, he went deep as well. And by the way, Ronald Acuna is a fucking dog. Already stole a base. So shout to him.
Yeah, no, I don't think that. I think that the Marlins are the player. I really do. Early, but the market's moving towards the Marlins. But the issue is there's a reason why we track our action and stare at it for hours, and it's because we want to know what are we doing wrong. And I've been doing that wrong. Cuban Connect says we lit on the road.
I just am still shocked just how good these fucking Miami Marlins are. And no one's gonna give their fucking general manager Kim Ang any credit because people wanted her fired in fucking 2 seconds, probably because she's a woman. But shout out to her, she fucking dominates. Fucking since 2021 has already turned around one of the fucking worst franchises in baseball. Fucking impressive.
All right. Well, I have some interest in the Marlins' first 3. I mean, okay, let's just one final thing here. I want to take another look at Caleb Ort and see if he should. Let's just look at his last few starts. He's not starts. He's not. Has he ever started a game? Yes, he started one and he got touched for 2 earned runs at home versus the Yankees.
Yeah,
look, he does not look good. He's allowed runs in his last. Oh no, I guess he went through 2/3 and didn't allow a run last time.
Yeah, again, I'm hoping we get only 1 inning of him. If it's more than 1 inning of Caleb Ort, then you'll find my body splattered out there somewhere on a highway in San Antonio because I'm playing Frogger out there.
Okay, Jose. By the way, that first 5 under 5 at Pinnacle is now at plus 109. So they're
at least it's juiced, or at least it's the plus money, I should say, because on Bovada or Bet Online, I forgot which one I looked at, is under 5 minus 105. So we'll see.
You're going to stay off making that official, though, at this point.
Yeah, I'll stay off. And Sharpie, by the way, mentioning again, last 2 games, Garrett went 6 and 7 innings where he's never gone past 6. And the Pens rested after a sandy day. So I mentioned this to you. I think every team at least has 2 or 3 competent relievers they feel good about throwing out there. The Marlins, they do as well. Shout out to AJ Puck. But if I had to take this game sidewise, I'd take Marlins first 5, Red Sox full game, and I'd bet the unders in this game.
All right. And C-Mac, you're staying off this bad boy?
Yeah.
Let's move on to Brewers Mets. I'm not going to move on that first 3 spot, at least right now. Let's move on to Brewers Mets. Head over to Citi Field, and what a disaster the Mets are. Love seeing that. 9.3 miles per hour, left to right, very slightly out. Then it's kind of out to right field by the end of the game, but just 7.1 miles per hour. It's 77 Fahrenheit at first pitch. Let's see what Ballpark Pal has for Citi Field. Plus 11% home runs, but minus 14% doubles and triples, minus 1% runs. Sharpie says, be safe with Senga, as this will be the second time ever going on 4 days rest. Last time he didn't make it 3 innings. Pitchers are creatures of habit. Japanese ones even more than most. 4 days rest for Senga. And Senga has not looked good. So, and I'll break down his numbers here pretty heavy in a second. But let's start with the line history here in this one. I wanted to move on this game. I came close to moving on this game. Bet Chris has also moved the first 5 total to 5.5. in Miami, Boston. Here, though, we're going to go to the full game, and Braves have Acuna on third with 1 out here. But let's go to the full game total. This opened at 9 at some offshores. It didn't open at 9 at Pinnacle. They opened this up 5:39 p.m. yesterday at 8.5 as a pick'em. At 10 o'clock, it moved to 9. It only lasted there for 13 minutes at 8.5. Back to 9 at 3 a.m. And it went back to 8.5 at 9:22 this morning. So overall, there's just been a 5-cent move to this over. 5-cent move to the over. Let's go to the money line here for this one. And you guys know what I think of Wade Miley. I love backing him. Here he opens up at plus 125, and he's now at plus 128. So 2 or 3 cent moves to the Mets. Look, before I dove into Senga's last 2 home starts, which have been bad, I thought Senga at home. Miley's pitching very well. And I thought about moving here on the under. I couldn't
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
But
Me too.
45% of tickets and 67% of cash is on the Mets. From a total perspective, 76% of tickets and 98% of cash is on the under. If that's the case, why did they keep putting it up to 9? It just that just didn't make sense to me. Miley's last start, 7-1 win at the Guardians. Guardians are hitting lefties right now, and he just mowed them down. On the road, he's been excellent. 2.45 ERA, 200 opponents batting average. He's come back from the IL and hasn't allowed a run. When I expect the pitcher to do that for the third start in a row. Now, this is this is from my own tracking my action. I have a negative ROI when I'm betting on a pitcher who's not allowed to run in 2 straight starts coming in third start. And that makes no sense. 1-0 for the Braves. Piker's on the first 5 and full game under. Says Brewers overs are healthy for the betting diet. Wow. Sharpie says rain's in the forecast, but should be plenty of time to get the game in as it shows a big gap. Yeah, after. Yeah, I don't even know if it'll be raining quite at first pitch, but there's going to be rain in the forecast today. Let's talk about Senga, though. Senga's numbers at home are very good. 2.52 ERA. Opponents hitting 164 against him. All gravy. But his last 2 starts at home, 9 1/3, 9 hits, 8 runs, 7 of which were earned, 11 strikeouts, and 6 walks. The Brewers don't hit righties, 209, 631. And the Mets don't hit lefties, 216, 670. If I see what Piker's seeing, and C-Mac alluded to the same. 98% of cash is on the under, and the market's not moving there. Sharpie says Senga on short rest is getting blasted. I wish I had the nuts to fade him, but the Brewers have been so bad. It would have been a bigger bet on this K-prop today if on normal rest, but I don't bet ifs. Take it away for us here, C-Mac, Brewers, Mets.
Yeah, I like the Brewers as well. And really, the only guy I back here with a team that I struggle with in this Brewers has been Wade Miley. He's been money for me.
Yeah.
That Dodgers start was really it, where they got to him in like the 4th inning. I lost that bet. I don't know if you were on it. It was under. I think Dodgers got 4 or 5 off him. But he's been good since he came back from the IL. I don't want the Mets. I want the Brewers here. I do like the under. This is what I was looking at last night. But Senga, I don't know. The Brewers bats aren't great, but I like them first 5 here. So give me the best number on the Brewers, and I'm going to think about this full game under.
Wow. We got McNulty in the house. McNulty saying Senga at -150 now for under 17.5 outs. And Justin McElvey has Brewers first 5 on his card. So Brewers first 5 for you, C-Mac?
Yep. I might move on this full game under.
God, I like the look on the first 5. Let's just go back to the money line here once more. Bigger bets coming in on the Mets. How could they possibly be doing that? How could big bets be coming in on the Mets? This works. This is a perfect spot for you. It sticks with your average line being a big plus price. Let's find the best line for you. Bet Chris hanging a +125 at this point. That's the highest, of course. Bookmaker and Bet Chris run in tandem. We have some +120s, and Will Hill at +125 as well. So +125 for the Brew Crew first 5 for C-Mac. Brewers.
Give me I got a 130 here at the South Point.
Oh, perfect. South Point 130. All right, locked in. Okay. Top Set says I really feel the Mets are the play here. I mean, the big bets have come in on them. Joe Yerker says Mets and Senga a public combo and Senga at home. I certainly like this spot here for the Brew Crew, but I'm going to stay off. I gotta. Alonzo says, "Do I like the Brewers?" I really need. I do, man. I want to fade Senga here. I like the Brewers first 5, but with all the information that we have on Senga, how could the market or not the market? Because I think the market isn't doing it right. What is the? Get this up again. What is the money line here? Well, let's just go first 5. We can't see what Pinnacle is doing, so why don't we see what Bet Chris has done? Bet Chris opened this at -142. They got it to -150. They're now -145. So there's a move to the Mets on the first 5, and then I'm telling you guys, I just have this. I stopped betting pitchers after 2 not, obviously weren't shutouts because he didn't go the distance, but after he's scoreless starts. But I completely understand what you're doing with the Brew Crew. Okay. Rob Free said, took the Brew Crew yesterday plus 1.5, first 5 still lost. That's when I learned my lesson on taking them. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on. So we've heard from the spreadsheet play of the day on Baltimore -1. Now we come to Gambler's First Glance. You could get this in person if you head down to Delaware Racetrack. But Gambler's First Glance is the St. Louis Cardinals. So St. Louis. Check it out. Our guy, Razor Sharp Picks. Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. And Equinimus says, remember the market didn't move away from the Cubs yesterday. Look, it's not, there's never going to be, there's no 100% spots in baseball with, it's such a battle of attrition, with a 162 game season. But everybody saw what happened in my season last year when I stuck to these guns, and I'm just going to continue to do that. And there's going to be times when I leave money on the table with the Phillies yesterday, which I wanted so bad, and Ranger Suarez. And this could be another spot where I leave money on the table, but I'm just going to stick to this plan. Very hot in St. Louis, 93 Fahrenheit, feels like 96. That's at 7 p.m. 11.8 miles right to left. At times it's very slightly out. At times it's very slightly in. Let's pull up the Ballpark Pal and see what they think of St. Louis today at Busch, and not what you would expect from the Heat. Obviously, it's the batter pitcher situation. Minus 12% home runs, minus 5% doubles and triples, and minus 6% runs. So there's only 2 other stadiums, Globe Life, which doesn't count because the roof's going to be up. So there's only one, just Wrigley. Wrigley's the only one that has a more of a less of an expectation. Rob Free is on the Astros money line. We have Javier versus Miles Michaelis. Top Set says, love the Astros. First 5 full game double up spot for him. So let's try and analyze, what Razor is seeing as part of the Gambler's First Glance method. So let's go to the money line here, full game money line. One thing we know about Gambler's First Glance is we can imagine that there's been a market move towards the St. Louis Cardinals, and that has happened here with Miles Michaelis. So the Cardinals open up at minus 104. They're now minus 118. That's a legit move. There's almost been really no buyback either. Oh, there was buyback at 9:54. Sorry, it got up to minus 120, then went down to minus 110. Right now it's back at minus 118. So we have 14 cents of movement to the St. Louis Cardinals and Miles Michaelis. Again, with Jordan not in the lineup, this Astros line just isn't very scary here. And I believe you just got that strikeout, Rocco. I believe you just got that strikeout for your Allard. Are you gonna cash the strikeout over in the second inning? So let's take a look at the total here at Pinnacle. This opened up at 9, but it was heavily juiced to the under. I didn't realize that it opened up at 9. It didn't move to 8.5 until 10:18 a.m. Right now it's at 8.5, but it's heavily juiced to the over. Heavily juiced. So that's funny that I'm surprised by this. I don't see 9s anywhere. So Pinnacle is certainly leading the way to this over. And there you get it from Noli Knows. Dead under here. Lucas Ryan says, overcast here in St. Louis. It's sprinkling right now. I'm not sure about later. And there's our guy, UPK Ayash, in the house. And Saturated says, don't know you guys discussed it yet, but here in the Midwest, you can't see the sky. Topset says, Cards team total under is a look. So let's take a look at the cash flow and then just hit a quick table and hear what CMAC has to say. We have 77% of the tickets and 92% of cash on the Astros, and the market's moving towards the Cardinals. That's just crazy. 58% of tickets and 84% cash on the under, and yet Pinnacle sort of, showing that the over is a spot here. Piker says he capped Houston minus 125 and took them last night at even money. Wow. Here we go. Javier, 7-1, 3.25 ERA, 1.12 whip. His last start was just 2 1/3. Must have been. Oh, no, it was at home. I don't. Oh, because he allowed 4 runs. He was getting touched. Sorry. 4 runs, 4 hits, 5 Ks. On the road, he's being good. 190, really good. 197 opponent's batting average, 3-0, 3.51 ERA, 42 Ks, 13 walks. Miles Michael is coming off a nice start at Washington, 7 innings and 2 earned runs allowed. At home, he's not being good this year. Opponent's hitting 296 off him. Now, he's only allowed 3 home runs and 41 2/3, but he's being barreled. Astros versus righties since June 1st, just 237, 721 OPS. No one's scared of this lineup without Jordan in it. Cards versus righties, 253, 775. I made the mistake saying how bad these bullpens have been since June 1st and taking the first 5 under when Pete took the full game under. Pete got the win. I got the loss, and that's what stopped me from having a winning day. So, Mike M says,
Wait, what'd you have? You said? Yeah,
I had the first 5 under 4, and Pete was on the first full game under, and it was 4-2 after 5, and it was 4-2 at the end of the game. So, TJ says, I can't fathom a world with Michaelis minus 117 to Javier, so he's off. Robert Franklin on cards, money line, and Rocco Rogers did catch that Aller prop. Wow. Take it away, C-Mac. I'm all ears. I'm very interested in this gambler's first glance to look. Very, very interested in touch on your thoughts of this Astros lineup without the big bat in it.
Yeah, it was all right in LA, and they even lost that game. They gave it up. Bregman had a grand slam, and they still blew that. But he's too big. That's going to hurt him, over time. When I saw this last night, too, I got to think Javier's better. We were on it last week where he was just off. I mean, Astros scored a ton of runs there versus the Mets, but that's he's had a couple of those, in his career. I think he bounces back, and normally he does. So I think he pitches well. Michaelis, on the flip side, he pitched great, and he's had extra days here. Didn't he pitch last Wednesday as well?
Yeah, I guess they both have. Yeah, interesting. I didn't recognize that.
I'm leaning the under here in this game. I kind of like it. So I agree with Noli. The price, though, I just think they're saying he has a pretty good start here, and we have 8.5s everywhere.
Yeah, but they're juiced to the over.
Yeah,
I'm surprised that we don't have a 9 just because I was focusing on Pinnacle. I mean, Pinnacle doesn't get much higher than 8.5, or sorry, than minus 118 before it'll start immediately showing. Let's just see what Pinnacle has for the 9. That'll give us a better idea of it. So here we go. The total here, 8.5 minus 1. So the 9 is at plus 106 to the over. So maybe we're not that close to it. What do you want to do here?
Yeah, I'm gonna probably move on it. I'm gonna wait. Maybe we do get there. I doubt it, but
look at Sharpie thing.
If I bet it.
Only 2 times this year they put Javier's outs at 15.5. He got waxed in both games. It's 15.5 again when normally it's 17.5. Look, I know Michaelis is 34 years old and hasn't looked that good, but and because this isn't really an X's and O's thing, I'm not going to double up here on it. But everybody's on the Astros in the chat. The only person that I saw on the cards was Robert Franklin. Everybody concerned about something on
and
the
Razor.
And Razor, of course. Yeah, yeah. And so Cardinals are 15 and 22 at home. Terrible. Michaelis hasn't looked very good at home. And Javier has nice numbers, but he looks a little vulnerable right now. Sharpie's telling us the out spot. Right now, with Jordan Alvarez out of the lineup, the Cards have a better offensive lineup than the Astros. And that's arguable, of course. Right now, if you're watching this Astros bullpen, they're atrocious. The Cards have a better bullpen than the Astros, which, again, these are all arguable things. I'm just talking about the stats from June 1st. With all of that being said, I'm with Johnny Guns and Londo and everybody on the Cardinals.
Yeah. And I just think it's just getting to 120, 125, and we're just seeing the buyback because of this price. With the Astros, everyone's like, shit, Javier, come on. So I don't think he goes past it.
What is it here? Anyways, I might even take him on the -1 line. Okay. Oh, that's too bad. Mally Mal, my man. Okay. Cards, either -1 or money line. I think that there's volatility in the spot with Javier and Michaelis, so I expect to bet the -1. Okay. Don't worry, Mally Mal. Lots of time for us to get that cash back, and nice work, Alfonso, on the second quarter over live bet. Okay, I'm going to roll a razor here on this spot. Let's move on. 8:05 p.m. Eastern is next for us. Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. We know the roof will be closed. Joey Wentz, the lefty, going up against Dane Dunning. These are two pitchers that I like, two pitchers that I follow closely, and I like them. First off, let's take a look at this total. With the roof closed, it opened at 9.5, and it got up to 10 at 4 this morning. Only lasted there for 11 minutes, went right back to 10 again, 12 minutes after that, and it's been at 9.5 ever since. So it's at 9.5 at a pick'em, which means we have 8 cents of movement to the over. 8 cents of movement to the over. Let's go to the money line here. On the money line for this one, there was a slight move to the Detroit Tigers, and that surprised me. This move has not always been the case. Look at this. This is wild, C-Mac. 37-cent move to the Texas Rangers as of 8:43 a.m. Since then, there had been a 42-cent move back. 42-cent move back to the Detroit Tigers. That was over the course of 8:43 a.m. to 10:32 a.m. Unbelievable.
Wow.
Not even 2 hours.
I
mean, that's just absolutely crazy. And anybody who moved on the Rangers at that inflated price has got to be hanging their head with the move. So at this point, we have 2 cents of movement to the Rangers, and that like 8 cent move to the over. So let's take a look at the cash flow then here for this one. 88% of tickets, but 74% of cash on the over. So there are some bigger bets on the under, surprisingly. And then 73% of tickets and 98% of cash on the Rangers, and this move back to Joey Wentz. I mean, this is just unbelievable here. Joey Wentz numbers are bad. He had a terrible start to the season. Remember, this is a first-round pick who was a big part of their rotation last year, and I expect a positive, progression to the mean. That's what's happened. His last start wasn't very good. 4-1 loss at home to the Twins. I did not expect them to struggle the way he did. 4 runs, only 3 were earned over 5 innings, and this is a Twins team that doesn't hit lefties. He's been so bad on the road. 7.48 ERA. Opponents hitting 286 off of him. And Dane Dunning is bet on. I've been saying that ever since last year. I believe that we were getting an advantage with them, especially at home. 7 innings, 2 earned runs, 2 Ks, 2 walks, and a 4-2 extra inning win at the Yankees. At home, he's been excellent this year. He's 4-0 over 35 innings with a 3.09 ERA. Just 15 strikeouts for Dane and 9 walks. I mean, there's certain, angles that you could say are very disappointing splits-wise, but the Tigers are not hitting righties. 226, 653 OPS, and the Rangers are smashing lefties, and both bullpens have been good. This market move back to the Tigers is wild. Take it away for us here, C-Mac, Tigers, Rangers.
Yeah, Wentz here, Joey Wentz. Boyd now gone for the year. And the other young Screwball, Manning, those guys are, shelved too. We're probably not going to see. So tough one for the Tigers. That is a wild move. I think the numbers get big, and I think this team can kind of, hit their way, to the playoffs. But I think they hit a skid at some point. The Rangers, Tigers won the other day, but Dunning's just been lights out at home, and which surprised me the most, Jimmy's on the road. I mean, the guy was a fade for me on the road last couple of years, Dunning, and he's been great Doesn't matter, road or home. I think the Rangers get to him. They're just the numbers off lefties is too good. I mean, he's better than 1-8, but big number here. 5.5, obviously. Piker just put it in there, or the run line. I wish it was plus money. This run line. Yeah, I'd be on the Rangers or nothing. I would need to see more from Wentz to like back a dog here with him, especially
Definitely.
against Dunning. So
Definitely,
just
but the big market move will be enough to keep me off of the Rangers.
Yeah, I don't love it. I don't know if I'm gonna pull the trigger on team total or the run line.
But I get it. If we're going over the splits, and Wentz does not look good, although, as you said, and he's been quite a bit better. Rangers are smashing lefties. Dane Dunning's been great at home, so and great everywhere. So with all that being said, that move back does scare me enough to not want to be involved. The ribeye play of the day is in, and it's here in this Rangers game. Josh Young at plus 140. The ribeye
this
play
will be
of the day
talked about with Sharpie too.
Oh, cool. Okay, dope. Josh Young, Ribby at plus 140. All right, let's move on. No action for us there. By the way, here for Twins Braves, that live total is at 7.5. Again, doesn't mean we're going to cash, but it's a nice spot for us. And Alfonso Scott gave us a live look. He just cashed the Sky Sparks second quarter over, and now he's on the third quarter under from Alfonso Scott. Okay, let's roll. 8:05 p.m. Eastern, Philadelphia Phillies 41-37, 20-23 on the road at the Chicago Cubs 37-40, 20-18 at home. DC Capper has just told us that he is moving on the Phillies with Aaron Nola on the bump. Let's take a look at the weather first here at Wrigley. We know that it's not set up for offense. 72 Fahrenheit, 9.5 miles per hour right to left, slightly in, goes down to 8.9 miles per hour. Wrigley Field minus 1% home runs at Ballpark Pal, minus 5% doubles and triples, minus 9% singles, minus 10% overall runs here. And TJ is on Philly first 5 here, and Aaron Nola. Aaron Nola coming off a really nice start at home versus the Braves. They lost that one in extras. Nola, 4.38 ERA, 1.07 whip, 98 Ks over 102 thirds. His last start against the Braves at home, 6 innings and no earned runs allowed. It's on the road where he is being susceptible. 55 2/3 innings, 3-3 with a 5.17 ERA, 49 strikeouts, 13 walks, 9 home runs, 236 opponents batting average. Drew Smyly has been very good this year, which puts a big smile on my face. I'm a Drew Smyly fan ever since his arm exploded pitching for Team America back in, goddamn. Is that 2009? No, it can't be. That was a long time ago, though. 3.38 ERA, 1.22 whip, Drew Smyly. Last start, 5 innings, no earned runs, 5 walks, 4 Ks. It was an 8-0 win at Pittsburgh. At home, he struggled a little. Much better numbers on the road. 36 2/3, 4.17 ERA, 219 opponents batting average. And the Phillies are hitting lefties, 257, 755 OPS, and the Cubs are not hitting righties, 236, 683 OPS. The Cubs have a bullpen advantage as of June 1st, but if it came down to it, I would take the Phillies bullpen over the Cubs bullpen, but the Cubs bullpen's been quite a bit better than the Phillies since June 1st. So let's touch on the line history here for this one. We have Nola and the Phillies opening up at minus 118 and now minus 128. They got up to minus 134, a tiny bit of buyback, but still 10 cents of movement towards the Philadelphia Phillies. From a total perspective, we have this opening up at 8, and it moved to 8.5. When it opened up at 8 here, it lasted there for 11 minutes before it went to 8.5. And it came back to 8 at 9:48 this morning, and it lasted there for over 2 hours before they put it back to 8.5. So this has moved. It's a 10-cent move to the Phillies, and it's gone up a half run, but it is heavily juiced to the under. Take a look at the cash flow here for this one. We have 70% of tickets and 70% of cash on the Philadelphia Phillies. Then we have 36% of tickets and 54% of cash on the over. Noli says I take the Cubs pen because of Ross. Yes, he's spectacular with them. No doubt about it. Mike M says this is a great Philly spot. First look, you've heard how strong Smiley is, but then look at the Phil's lineup and the experience versus Sky. Bring your glove to the ballpark tonight.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, take it away for us here, C-Mac, Phillies Cubs.
Yeah, they have success off him. You know, a few guys have hit him hard. Bohm, this guy, he could be traded as well. Castellanos, there's a few Phillies. I've got Tim Harper, has a few homers. It's tough with Smiley for me here. This was a Phillies. I missed the move here, Jimmy, a little bit. I don't mind the juice, but I like the Phillies here too. Noel looked really good that last start at home, but he got backed up an extra day, right, because of the rain.
Mm-hmm.
God, he's been the shits on the road. It's just that's like the only thing. I agree with everyone. I do like the Phillies here, and I do like the numbers, but their bats have been hit and miss too all year. So yeah, I want the Phillies. It's just it's creeped out a little too far. I'd have to take the half here. First 5.
Yeah, when Dizzy Rothstein talking about that Phillies record and also talking about the big move to the Red Sox. Look, we all lost on the Red Sox yesterday. I mean, again, these market moves and things of that nature that we focus a lot on, they're not always going to yield results, but we expect them to yield results over a large sample size.
Yeah.
For me here, and like I get anybody who would want to fade Drew Smiley against hitters that have got to him, but the way I see Smiley is he's just different right now. He's just pitching better than he's pitched in a long time, and he did again last year.
Yeah,
but I mean, if we go back in time, he was getting destroyed at times. He had he's had a couple different Tommy Johns, but he got destroyed in 2016. We didn't see him until 2019. He came back, and I loved seeing him come back, and he came back and he got destroyed. He got killed,
And he pitched well with the Braves. And he's been that guy before that. Bad years, all right years, kind of in the middle, over 4 ERA type dude. Yeah.
I don't think that. And Mike M says, I think the bats can carry no start day. Look, I get it. It's just not enough for me. But look, BJ is on Phillies minus 135 for 4 units. So BJ making a big bet. We've seen what happens when BJ makes these big bets. His ROI is very good. And this is only bet today. Quinn was saying you wanted Phillies yesterday. How about today? I don't. Something's going on with Nola on the road.
I know. Is he gonna carry this over and be good here?
I mean, at this point, you pencil him in for 4 earned runs on the road and expect him to shove at home. It's a tricky thing to figure out. It really is. Like, let's do this here. Let's just say, so this year we know his numbers are bad. 5.17 ERA on the road. Let's go back to 2022. He was good on the road. He was better on the road than he was at home. Why is he not pitching well on the road? Like, it doesn't make sense. 2021, he got lit up on the road. He got hammered on the road. So maybe there is more of a history of it. Look, I get it. I get anybody who's on the Phillies. But I'm not doing it. I'm not going to trust Nola here. 70% of action on Nola. I always think that Nola gets a little bit overbet because we all have a vividness bias of how good he can be.
Yeah.
I love backing him at home, though. So.
Yeah, and I'm saying on the road, it's just been the problem over the years, And like you mentioned, some years have been better than others, but for the most part, he's just a guy kind of no-go for me.
Yeah, no, I got to stay off here. And
good numbers, too. Nobody really hits him here. Young Gomes, 7 for 21 with a couple homers, but other than that, good numbers against the Cubs.
If it comes down to it, where I'm thankful that I moved on that afternoon game that's going on right now, but where the only looks at this point are a possible Marlins first 3 and definitely Cards -1. If it comes down to it where I'm looking, I'm like, well, I don't have enough action. That's fine. I will bet the Marlins first 3, and then I'm definitely going to be on the Cards, and I'm not going to force things here. And TJ says Seattle lineup out, sitting Kalnick versus the lefty, lots of righties, and he's looking again at the Seattle team total over. So, you're going to wait on this spot because it's pushed too much in the Phillies direction, C-Mac?
Yeah.
Okay.
All
right, let's move on to 8:10 p.m. Eastern. Cleveland Guardians 38-40, 18-21 on the road. The Kansas City Royals 22-57, 10-29 at home. Londo says, "Do I like the Cubs first 5?" I am concerned with the numbers that Smiley has against this lineup, but I can say, well, I think he's just a different pitcher over the last year and a half, and I don't know if those numbers all, they came against Smiley, in previous years. I can say that to stay off the Phillies, but I can't say that to get on the Cubs. If that makes any sense. There's our guy Cheech. Marina's in the house, heading to Vegas in a few hours. Love it, Cheech. Get that cash. And Saturated says, can't believe they're playing these games in Chicago. The air quality from the fires is terrible. Jared Bush moving on to that Seattle team total over 4.5. And Smiley earned runs over, set up at 2.5 at -140. Wow. So, okay, let's roll here. Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. I've had a very good ROI with these Royals games, and it's almost never fade. I don't know if I've ever really been fading them. I didn't. I only had the unders yesterday, first 3 and first 5, but I really like the opportunity to cap this Royals team and these bum fights here. Let's talk about Logan Allen versus, I think it's Austin Cox. I don't have it in front of me, but I believe it's Austin Cox because I had his, Austin Cox, 26-year-old 5th-round pick in the 2018 draft out of Mercer. And he's looked very good. Again, I mean, he's not going to go deep, even though he's been a starter in the past. I don't think he's stretched out at all. It's a bullpen day for the Kansas City Royals, and it's a bad bullpen. And I said that the Guardians were hitting lefties. That was wrong. Since June 1st, 246, 694 OPS. I don't know why I thought that they'd been hitting lefties better. That was a mistake, and I apologize for saying that. Let's break down this spot. Let's start with the weather here at Kauffman Ballpark, pal, and get the swish here. There we go. So we'll start here. So in Kansas City, 96 Fahrenheit, feels like 102. It's hot. 12.5 miles per hour out to left center. Dies down to 8.3. It's extremely hot in Kansas City. And -6% home runs, -9% doubles and triples. That's a bit of a surprise. Just +1% overall here, according to Ballpark Pal. Let's go into the line history here for the Royals Guardians game. Start with the total over at Pinnacle. This total opened up at 9 at 8:44 this morning. In 1 hour, it was up to 10. It's gone up a full run. People believe that was too far. You won't believe this. So at 10:18 a.m., this total's at 10. At 10:41 a.m., it's back at 9. So that's just some wild info. Then it's back at 9.5, which it stands right now. So we do have a move to the over, but that is a fascinating market moves. Again, you got to time these things right. 2-0 Atlanta after 3 innings. Let's go over to the money lines for this spot here in Kansas City. We have the Royals opening up at +117. They're now +121. The initial move, again, this didn't come out until 8:44 a.m., was towards the Royals. And I get it. Logan Allen has not been good. But right now, we still have a 5-cent move towards the Guardians. So a very slight move towards the Guardians, and then a move towards the over. Let's take a look at the cash flow and see if it correlates. For the total, 68% of tickets and 58% of cash are on the over. So there are some bigger bets on the under. The fact that it's gone from 9 to 10 back to 9, 9.5 makes me think that people don't know what the hell is going to happen in this game. For Moneyline, 86% of tickets, 86% of cash on the Tribe, and the market's barely moved to them. TJ says got in on Cleveland when it dropped to -122. I trust the team over 9 innings. Yeah, I think that's key is the 9 innings. Billy Friedrich says Logan Allen appears to be hitting the rookie wall. He's betting Kansas City first 5 money line. And Carlos Garcia is liking our guy Jay with the balls hang play of the day remark. Our guy Jay making that popular. Boston money line and Houston money line for Carlos Garcia. Piker leaning to Cleveland, but no play. So let's talk about the situation here with who's on the mound. Logan Allen, 3-2, 3.68 ERA, 1.45 WHIP. A much better start at home versus the A's last out, but now he goes back on the road. His road numbers are pretty good, but he's not looked nearly as good over the last month. This is a bullpen day. Austin Cox has yet to allow a run in the major leagues, 12 1/3. And I think that he's important to talk about, even if he's not going to be out there for very long. What the hell? I had Austin Cox up here. Where the hell did he go? Sorry, let me. Here we go. So let's talk about Austin Cox. So yet to allow a run, and in Omaha in this year in AAA, he was quite good. Made 8 starts, 3.83 ERA, 1.44 WHIP. His walk rate was too high, and he was letting home runs in. He's certainly not this electric pitcher who's going to come in. He's never started a game, too. So this is his first start in Major League Baseball, even though we know it's a bullpen day and he's not going to go long. But I wonder if that makes him a little vulnerable here. Last year in AAA, he was, decent, 4.89 ERA, 1.43 WHIP. He's certainly not as good as his numbers indicate. And there's Noli knows with the dead under. Rob Free says Royals bullpen day. Sign me up on the Guardians money line. Royals are not hitting lefties at all. 236.22 OPS. Royals bullpen's been bad, but I've told you guys I can't fade bad bullpen days. Anyone who wants to do that, go ahead. But for me personally, my ROI is really bad. Guardians bullpen's been very good, by the way, since June 1st, 2.83 ERA. Take it away for us here, CMAC Guardians, Royals.
Yeah, that yesterday I had the under. That was pretty easy.
Oh, yeah.
I was looking at that here, too. I mean, I don't think we get up to 10. But that's what I was thinking. Logan Allen's been all right. The Royals haven't been, 20. They've been all right at times against lefties. Like you mentioned, it's hot, but big ballpark, not a ton of home runs. Cox is pretty good. You mentioned he was all right in AAA, but he was good, pretty good, single and AA coming up. And I think you can go 3 or 4 here and be all right. Guardians the last month have swung it better and scored some more runs. I can't take the Royals. Just not right now. I just not at 110. Like this seems like a 160 spot to maybe look at the Royals. So yeah, I'm gonna stay off the side, but I'm gonna wait on this total.
Yeah, I get it. Noli doesn't see it as a bullpen day. Thinks that Cox goes 5. It's interesting.
Yeah, he might go 5, maybe.
Interesting. He didn't even start every game in AAA. He came out of the bullpen twice. AAA. So he said made 10 appearances, 8 starts. That's interesting. It's interesting take that Austin is going to go 5 here. And again, I don't hate the Royals bullpen. I know Barlow gave it up again last night, but I don't think they're a disaster. Although their numbers sure since June 1st indicate that they are. They had a better May. Yes, Sharpie Noli gave us the skull for this one. The dead under here. I don't feel comfort. I feel this is really coin flippy. I don't want to put my money on something here, so I'm not going to. CMAC, do we move on to your Dodgers?
Yeah, let's get there.
8:40 p.m. Eastern. Next up, Los Angeles Dodgers 44-34. Rockies 31-50. Rockies 18-21 at home. Remember last year they were so atrocious on the road, but they were great at home. That's not been the case this year. Dodgers just 2019 on the road. TJ says, got to know the Royals. Do they have hope in this guy long term and are going to protect him, or is it a gap fill where they leave him out to eat at least 5? Yeah, I don't. As soon as Noli said that he expects them to go 5, I was like, oh, I probably should have. I don't really have that kind of threw me for a bit of a loop. And I don't think Cox is as good as his major league numbers show, but I do like him. So let's move on. Dodgers, Rockies, Coors Field, in Denver, Colorado. Grove's last appearance was that win at home. I thought it was versus the Angels, wasn't it? But it says versus the Astros. Wasn't he in that Angels game where it went Gratterall Grove? Am I wrong? Didn't that?
No, he didn't go.
He wasn't in that.
No.
Okay, why did I think
that was a full bullpen?
That was a full bullpen day. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last time we've seen him, you nailed Sharpie. Man, did you ever nail Kershaw yesterday? That was and Rocco saying no, they switched him out. Okay, so his last appearance was 2 innings and a 3-2 win at home versus the Astros. Look, Grove's not looked good, and it's funny. We talked about it last time, I think, with you. It was wild here watching Grove pitch because when he gets strikeouts, you're like, man, this guy can do it all day. Now, there's question marks here. Is it not fully going to be Grove today? Do we think it might not? Oh, no, we still got Grove here listed at RotoWire. So is there do people out there not expect Grove to pitch here? Going up against
I see him, but I see still question marks in other places too.
Let's see what Bet365 has here.
I thought he was going to go that day with the Angels. I thought he was going to back up, and he didn't.
Yeah. I didn't realize that he didn't. I messed that up. They have unknown pitcher at Bet365.
Mm-hmm.
So let's not focus on Grove right now. We can focus on all the other aspects of this game. Start with the weather at Coors, 84 Fahrenheit, 8.9 miles per hour right to left. But we know what happens at Coors and the ball flies. Plus 23% home runs, plus 22% doubles and triples, plus 7% singles, plus 26% runs here in Colorado. Let's pull up the line history here for this one. And we don't have much, but we'll go to Pinnacle. Pinnacle's put a line out for it. This opened up with the Dodgers minus 204, and that's exactly where they are right now, minus 204. This didn't come out till it's been only out for an hour and a half. Go over to the total for this one. Excuse me. The total here is at 12.5. It's slightly juiced to the over, and it opened up juiced to the under. So, we've had a 10-cent move to the over already with Freeland starting on the other side. Freeland, last start at home versus the Angels, we barely got that first 5 under 6.5. Thank God we got it. But 6 runs were scored. Freeland was okay. 3 earned runs, 4 runs were scored. 3 Ks and 2 walks here. At home, 3.42 ERA, 278 opponents batting average. Says allowed 6 home runs in the 47 and a third. Dodgers are hitting lefties with power right now. Not very good average, but 218, 760 OPS. Rockies are the opposite, 245 average, but just 705 OPS for righties. Dodgers bullpen has not looked good all year long. We keep waiting for them to get right, and we just have to keep waiting. Rockies bullpen's been a disaster. It looked better in May, but fell off in June. 5.69 ERA since June 1st. Let's take a look at the cash flow. I'm not sure how much information it's going to give us here. 815 tickets in. We don't need to put too much into it, but the bigger bets have been made on the Rockies. Market's not moving, but 13% of tickets, 77% of cash. But we saw that yesterday, and that didn't help us. And then we have no information on the total. Take it away for us here, CMAC. Dodgers, Rockies.
Yeah, I'm leaning over here, but I don't take a ton of them. I couldn't believe with Kershaw on the mound, there was 11.5. I don't know if there were any 12s. I had the 11.5. I mean, I just was like shocked. I know it's Coors Field. He could have got hit, but yeah, that was pretty easy as he pitched great. I think there's runs here today. Freeland's been hit and miss versus these Dodgers. Not a ton of them hit him. You mentioned a lot of power, not a ton of average. Few guys do. Peralta, JD Martinez, 4 for 6, double and a homer. But I don't know what's going on with the pitching. I think there'll be runs, and I might look at the Rockies here. Jimmy, once we kind of get a number.
What do you think of what Sharpie's saying? How upset he is that this could be a bullpen day in Colorado in the summer. This pen can't be trusted at this point. Am I being too hard on the pen? Like, what's your expectation of the pen moving forward? If you had some concrete feelings, that would probably help us all a lot. I don't know.
I think it gets better, but they don't have a closer. It's just when you don't have that guy. I know Phillips has been all right, but I just don't know if he's it. And they haven't been good. You know, they were good that start. The Angels, that was a full bullpen day, and I think they get better. But yeah, I just it's just rough.
Well, let's roll on here. Let's roll on. I don't feel comfortable here, but I don't want to sell this Dodgers bullpen really short. And I fear the Dodgers bats. I don't feel like this is comfortable. Jared Bush looking at the over 12.5. All right, so let's move on. 9:38 p.m. Eastern. If this was just X's nose and we didn't look at the market, I would say this. I would say that with this Giolito Barria start, that I trust some of these, execs that are making decisions on pitchers. Now, obviously, you could say, how could you possibly trust anybody, who's been overlooking the Angels pitching over the last few years? And that would be fair. But the fact that Jaime Barria is being basically like hidden when he's got these extraordinary numbers at home, they're not starting him every 5. And this is a 6-day rotation, team. He's not been seen since June 18th. I want to fade him. I want to fade him while his numbers are spectacular. I do. And this is just no, the market doesn't correlate with this, so I didn't. But seriously, why else would he not have seen the mound for the last 10 days? Why is he not becoming a starter when his numbers are so good? And it's because, he starts, struggling a bit in some of these starts. I know you keep such a close eye on these Los Angeles teams, and if you were fading Barria this year, you'd be losing. But why do you think he's not getting an opportunity to pitch if his numbers are like this?
I just don't think they think he's a guy that can go deep, and he's gotten, like you talked about, Jimmy. I think he does get hit, as it goes on. He doesn't have put away stuff. He's been able to get outs. You know what I mean? Kind of grind innings. I mean, he starts here with a strikeout, 2 Ks. So, but he grinds, and I've even been shocked how well he's pitched. Man, this White Sox team can't hit.
They can't.
Giolito pitching well.
This was a spot where my intuition was saying Barria's not good. And that's too far because his numbers say he's really good. Hasn't allowed a home run in 20 innings at home. The Juice, it's a bullpen day. We're expecting Trevor Richards to be first, but it's still saying unknown pitcher at a lot of these places and at Bet365. So, but that's what we're expecting. We're expecting we know it's going to be a bullpen day, and we're expecting Trevor Richards to start, but that's not there's no clarity there. I believe RotoWire does have Trevor Richards to start. I believe. So RotoWire is expecting Trevor Richards, but we don't know yet. We got great stuff from, one of the things that we talk about often, Peter and I, Mr. Loshak and myself, is about having these cappers who watch these teams nonstop. And we have so many different ones in our chat that have a favorite team. And we have 2 here, and Wine Time with his Angels and Billy Friedrich with his White Sox. Wine Time saying he's on the under 9. He says, I also pulled the trigger on the Angels team total under 4.5. Says, I expect the Angels bats to stay cold with runners in scoring position this series, and I don't trust the White Sox bats at all beside Robert. Billy Friedrich says, I've already bet the White Sox team total under 4.5. Says it's a juicy -130, but my Sox are not hitting. This could blow up my face, but they've been so bad. So that's great looks from these guys, and thank you for sharing that. Londo on the Angels. Billy Friedrich saying White Sox have scored more than 3.5 runs only twice over the last 10 games. And one time saying Berea is a 5-inning guy. So eventually he's going to start getting hit. Okay, so that's a great starting point for us. So let's just quickly talk about the weather in LA. 69 Fahrenheit, 9.5 miles per hour out to right center. Dies down to 8.3 miles per hour. Let's pull up Ballpark Pal and see what their expectations are here of Angel Stadium. Plus 6% home runs, minus 7% doubles and triples, minus 2% overall runs. Let's go over to the line history here for this one. We'll start with this total. This total opened up at 8.5. It lasted there for about 6 hours before it moved to 9. And then once it moved to 9, interestingly enough, it only lasted there for 3 minutes before it was back to 8.5. And it saw 9 again an hour and a half ago. But once it went down to 8.5, it was there for 12 hours. But it's at 9 right now. So it's moving back to the over. So we have a half run move to the over. Let's take a look at the money line here. Another problem with this, and maybe this is why I wanted to dislike Berea here, is that I like Giolito. I cheer for him, and I think that gets in the way sometimes. There's been a legit move to the Angels, minus 113 and minus 124. What I told you about my thoughts, Berea kind of being hidden by the Angels, hasn't seen the mound in 10 days. How is a pitcher supposed to not see the mound in 10 days and have his stuff?
It's a head scratcher.
Brian Watson, we expect it to be Trevor Richards, but it's a bullpen day for the Jays. So Giolito, 5-5, 3.41 ERA, 1.20 WHIP. Let's see the cash flow here. 58% of tickets, 31% of cash is on the over, and yet it's sitting at 9 right now at Pinnacle. 57 and 30 right now. That kind of makes me want to bet the over. 47% of tickets and 87% of cash are on the Angels, which means I guess I can't do anything, even though I want to bet this game. The last start for Giolito was at home. It was very good. 6 innings, he allowed the 1 homer. On the road, he's not being nearly as good as he is at home. And maybe that's the angle that the gamblers are using. On the road, 42 and 2/3, 4.64 ERA, 46 Ks, 20 walks, 271 opponents batting average. And Jaime has these great numbers, but I don't know how he can be trusted. White Sox versus righties, 221, 684 OPS since June 1st. Angels, 272, 858. And both bullpens have been so good. God, maybe this is a first 5 over. Wine Time says the Angels have been doing Berea like this since last year. He was almost unhittable at times last year, and they still wouldn't use him. C-Mac, can you provide clarity here, or do I just sit on the sidelines again here?
I think you sit on the sidelines. One thing is, there could be runs. It's good weather, but Giolito has been good. Obviously, he's probably going to get traded. Everyone knows. And Berea's the head scratcher. I mean, he's pitched well. And I might even gone against him this year too. I can't figure him out. Like we've just been talking about. I just don't know. And I think he's got to go 5 here, but the White Sox can't hit a lick. I mean, sidewise, I'd be on the Angels and the under.
Yeah. The live total right
Angels,
now. Twins Braves at 7.5. Sorry, keep rolling, my man.
256 off Giolito. Ohtani hit 3 homers. Taylor Ward's 3 for 9 with 2 homers. But Berea 8 for 55. This White Sox off him, Jimmy. $1.45.
Yeah, I don't. There's. I think this is a first 5 over spot now. I think that
I could see Shay. I don't.
I just want to look at the line history here on the 4.5 because what am I supposed to do here? It's minus 125 to the over. We talk about like the spots where we track our action, where we struggle. My ROI on minus 125 totals is horrific. Obviously, because you're paying the extra juice, so the implied probability goes up, but it's really bad. I just want to do this and then I'll move on here. This was not part of my cap initially, but I just don't see how they expect. Look at this. So we have some books that have moved it to 5. Huh. Oh, and Pinnacle just moved it to 5. Wow. So Pinnacle's had it at 5 for a while, but listen to this, C-Mac. So they had it at 5 when it first moved to 5. It was at 5:30 in the morning at plus 106 to the over. So now it's even money. But in the last 48 minutes, it's moved to the under. This was minus 108 to the over 5, and now it's minus 106 to the under. Now it's minus 114. So we've had a 8-cent move to the under at 5. Okay, I think this is going to go over. Sharpie says, depending on lineups, I will be backing Giolito, as Moustakis and Monchak don't belong in the league. Wow. Okay. I'm surprised that this is turning into a first 5 over for me. But it is. Let me just, sorry, I know we've gone on for a long time on the show, but I just, if I'm going to say this out loud and bet it, I just want to just double check a couple things. So first off, the cash flow here has 40. Oh, sorry, that's the money line. So total has 43% of tickets and 70% of cash on the under. So it's got big bets coming in on the under and the market's moving towards the over. You look at these numbers just straight up with Giolito and Berea, you'd think that, wow, 3.41 ERA, 2.14 ERA, these are really strong pitchers, is going to go under. And I think that's why some of the bigger bets will be made on the under. So I'm going to not do that. Okay. Wine Time might try to go. Mike M says Ohtani's stat line yesterday was sick. Oh, speaking of that, is there a chance Ohtani's not in the lineup because of that cracked finger or whatever it is, even though he had 2 jacks yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's going to change things as well. I would hate to have moved on this. And One Time says yes. Okay,
Yeah.
Okay, Jesus. Thank God we said that. Okay, so I need Ohtani in the lineup. So and then One Time saying we should sit him. Okay, so Ohtani must be in. So I'm not going to bet this when this is over. Okay. All right, let's roll on. 2 games left on today's show. Next up, 9:40 p.m. Eastern. These New York Yankees are not hitting anything right now, and it makes the A's live. Yesterday, I knew a lot of you guys on Blackburn First 5, and I was like, shouldn't we be rewarded financially for backing the A's? I mean, doesn't there have to be a plus sign beside it? Now, of course, by doing that, I left money on the table by not, by demanding a plus line on an Oakland First 5. And then we have Domingo Germán in this start, who gets the 10-game suspension for Black and Decker hands and comes back and knows he's being watched and is allowing, 7 or 8 earned runs a game. So how do we not back JP Sears here? Let's talk about the spot here. Weather-wise, we have 63 Fahrenheit, 10 miles per hour out to right center, dies down to 8.7 miles per hour. Ballpark Pal has the Oakland Coliseum minus 13% for home runs, plus 2% doubles and triples, minus 5% for overall runs. Go to the line history here. We have, move over here. Sorry, we have, that's the first 5 sitting at 4. Let's get to this full game. Here we go. For the full game, a lot, or some books open this up at 8, juiced. Pinnacle opened it at 8, not juiced. 549, well, slightly, minus 110 to the under. Then it didn't go to 7.5 until 10:13 this morning. Now it's at 7.5, but that took a while to get there. So we have a move to the under. From a money line standpoint here, we have the A's opening up at plus 129. They're now plus 132. So a 3-cent move to the Yankees. So we have a move to the under and a 3-cent move to the Yankees. Let's see what we're dealing with here from a cash flow standpoint. 57% of tickets, 82% cash on the under, and it's moved half run. Let's see what we have for the money line. We have 49% of tickets and 76% of cash on the A's. I don't know how anyone doesn't back. I don't know how anyone doesn't back the A's here. You know, Mally Mouse says I'm not seeing Ohtani on the injury report. Look, I get it, but we just need to see how that fingernail reacts. I think before we put our hard-earned money on the spot. You know, what if we make the bet on the over 4.5 and then he's not in the lineup and you want to smash something? Let's not go through that. Billy Friedrich says Sears got lit up by the Yanks in Yankee Stadium earlier this year. Sharpie says the winner of the Montas trade is Oakland A's, as we get a revenge type day for JP Sears. Robert Franklin says Oakland moneyline, Sticky Icky Herman been giving it up. Sears not bad. Piker says I'm on Oakland first 5 at plus 116. Says Herman's been bad away. Not scared to line up, value play. Sharpie says about JP Sears, who he backed last start. Sharpie was very confident in Sears last start, and Sears was excellent in that start and rewarded Sharpie with cash. He says he's not on him today, as there were not enough plate appearances for him to even consider these Yankee numbers. 98 plate appearances in the last 30 days against lefties. True Allah, 4th and 1 Entertainment says, who goes yard today? If you want the jack of the day from Conor Mac, you must watch The Balking Dead at 3:10 p.m. Eastern. Juju saying unreal how bad this Yankees lineup is, how bad they are. And there's Alfonso Scott, who's given us back-to-back live winners here on the Sky Sparks game. Give us a second quarter over and the third quarter under. Alfonso, thank you so much for dropping these winners in the chat and thinking about putting cash in our pockets. Shout out to Alfonso Scott. Piker says full game line might have flip-flopped, but I'm pretty sure first 5 line has been steady towards Oakland. And Sharpie liking Josh Donaldson to go yardstick. So Herman on the road, 5.91 ERA, 242 opponents batting average. He's allowed 6 home runs in 32 innings. Sears at home has been very good, 3.09 ERA, 30 Ks and 5 walks, 221 opponents batting average. Yankees versus lefties, just 213, 672. A's versus righties, 241, 689. The Yankees bullpen, 2.75 ERA. They're keeping their team in these games. But the A's bullpen has been better than we remember, 4.37 ERA since June 1st. Here we go, C-Mac. Second last game on the card, Yankees, A's.
Yeah, someone mentioned it in the chat earlier this year. Yankees got to him, but this is not the same Yankee lineup. Our team, just Judge being out is not good for them. I was on the A's yesterday. I don't mind. It's just the 7.5s now are everywhere. We talked about both these teams can't hit much, but A's got it done. I'll take him again. First 5 plus 110 here. Sears is the guy back. Blackburn's been back, and I've backed him a few times. It's worked out. He was the only guy I backed at all because I didn't bet the A's much at all this year, Jimmy. And he's pitched well. This Yankee team doesn't hit lefties. This is the second time seeing him, but I think he's all right here. I got to take the A's.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, Herman looks really bad. Interesting. In that Yankees game, and that was like his second or third worst start of the year. Judge wasn't in that lineup either. Torres went 2 for 4. Yeah, that day.
Yeah, Torres hit a homer. Yeah, there was a few guys. Yeah,
LeMahieu hit a homer. Cabrera hit a homer. Hicks hit a homer. I don't know if they all got him off of Sears. But interesting that they got to Sears in that start. Vital said, "This is a Yankee spot. Can you handle the juice?" Is Herman just gonna? Is Herman just unable to pitch without the sticky stuff? Is he just not going to be part of this rotation here after the All-Star break?
I don't know. I mean, I think he pitches better here versus the A's team. I thought he was going to do better. I didn't think he was going to get shelled again. Seattle just jumped all over him. Hit homers all over the yard last week.
Let's just I'm not going to get to be able to study the line history at Pinnacle for first 5s for whatever reason on this site, but I can study it here at Bet Online. This opened up with Oakland at plus 110 this morning at 8:34. Within 20 minutes, it was plus 107. And then they moved it another 2 cents to plus 105. So basically with this spot, are you what are you with your bet? And I'll line shop for you in a second. What are you counting on more here? Herman to get touched or Sears to pitch better than he did in the last time facing the Yankees?
A little bit of both. I think Sears is going to pitch better. And maybe he gets fucking rocked. Fuck do I know?
No, but I mean, you're trusting what you're seeing from Sears lately, and you're seeing an improved pitcher.
He's been better, and he's been solid for me here. This Yankees team, right now, I mean, they hit him that start, but they can't hit lefties really at all year long.
Yeah, I don't know how we don't move on the A's first 5. I think I've got to join you.
It's wherever me. I mean, A's have been coming through too for me, and I haven't bet him a ton. Whereas Jose, he's been, betting him a lot more than me.
All right, well, let's line shop for you. See if we can get you anything better. I have 105s. 106 at my bookie. 109 at Sports Interaction. 109 is the best number. Can you beat that number on the?
Yeah, I just saw 110 a couple of places.
All right, so CMAC is in A's first 5 at plus 110, and I must join him. All right, there we go. Let's move on to the last, and I'm going to roll with you on this one. Move on to the last spot of the day here in Arizona Chase Field with the roof closed. Tampa Bay Rays 54-28, 20-18 on the road at the Diamondbacks 48-32, 24-18 at home. It's surprising that the Diamondbacks have not been better at home with their really good record this year. So they're only 6 games over 500 at home, and they've been better on the road than they have been at home. Zach Eflin, we know what he's done on the road. He's been bad against Zach Davies, and he's been bad everywhere. So let's take a look at the line history here for our final game on the board. Move back to full game here and see what we are dealing with. First off, line history-wise, at Pinnacle. Oh, shoot, sorry. I'm on the wrong side here. Let's go over to here. The Diamondbacks opened up at plus 133. They're now at plus 140. So we've had a 7-cent move against them. So we've had a slight move towards the Tampa Bay Rays. Move over to the total here. So slight move to the Rays, and we have a move to the over. This opened up at 9, and it lasted there for 19 minutes for 1 to 9.5, then back to 9, then back to 9.5, and that's where it stayed at 9.5. So we have a move to the over and a slight move to the Rays. Vitalis is on the under in this one. Rocco on the other side. So we have the juice on the Yurfie here. Okay, so let's pull up the cash flow and see if that will lead us somewhere. 86% of the tickets and 96% of the cash on the Rays. That's pretty wild for a very slight move towards them. That's pretty wild. Now, I've seen Davies. I've seen his changeup be very difficult to hit. That's not been the case this year. We have 71% of tickets, 68% of cash on the over, and we're seeing it move to 9.5. Billy Friedrich on the full game over. Piker got on the over last night, leaning Rays to the run line. Zach Eflin has been very good this year. His splits are dramatic. And then I doubled up on this goddamn under in San Francisco, and Davies was atrocious, and I lost it immediately. At home, he's throwing 20 innings. He has a 9.90 ERA and a 360 opponent's batting average. Rays versus righties, 267, 767 OPS. Diamondbacks, 277, 821. And the Rays bullpen is the best in Major League Baseball since June 1st. There's our guy Swizz in the house. What up, Swizz? Wow. God, I've got this sickness, man. A fucking sickness to to think some of these older veterans can turn it around and think that, everybody's looking at this these horrific numbers from Zach Davies, and I know that he's a little bit better than the numbers indicate, and you got 95% of cash on the Rays, but I can't trust Eflin at home, and for some reason I want to trust Davies, and I should probably just shut up and pass. Take it away, C-Mac. Rays, Diamondbacks.
Yeah, 1 sec. I want to pull this up. I agree with guys in the chat. I got to take the over here. Eflin on the road. We always just Eflin on the road, fade all those years with the Phillies. And he's been better this year, but still the splits. ZRA's 5 on the road. That's where he gets hit. I think the D-backs get to him, and I think Davies gives it up. Both these teams just been hitting well all year long. Last 15 days, Rays are 3rd, D-backs are 8, and we know full year both these teams have been hitting. I think we get more runs tonight. Give me the over.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Sorry, guys are saying that the stream is lagging a bit. I apologize for that. Hate that that's happening. The over makes sense. Let's just go back to the cash flow. On this total, we have 71% ticket, 68% cash on the over. Vitalis, could you tell me what you are looking at with your thoughts on this under? It just seems to be moving towards the over, throughout the night. What about C-Mac focusing on the first 5 instead of the full game, just because of the spectacular ability of the Rays bullpen? Now, if the Rays are way ahead, then you're going to see bad, the weaker parts of the bullpen. But why are you picking the full game over the first 5?
I'd rather have full game here with these teams. D-backs bullpen never been great. It's okay. Rays bullpen too. It's middle of the road. At times they've been better this year, but I'd rather have full game in this one. I don't mind the first 5, I guess. What is it, 5?
No, it's moved to 5.5 now.
5.5. Okay, 5 I would.
Wow. Move to 5.5. That is high. And do you think that Davies corrects himself, or do you think Davies is, going to go the way of Madison Bumgarner and not be pitching for this team as they move forward?
He might. And it could be here. He's pitched well at times. I've seen it, over the years. When I've seen him this year, he doesn't seem right at all. That Cleveland, that home start, Cleveland was just rough. See the Guardians smash him?
Yeah. All right, well, let's lock you in.
He's probably due for a good start, but these lineups have been great. These 2 offenses like I was talking about.
Let's grab this here for you. Let's line shop for the full game over. I feel like that first 5 line is pretty sharp. 5.5. I mean, it just feels like it's almost perfectly set. Let's see. We can get a 9.5, a -106 at Pinnacle. Can you beat that with the legal ones?
I think that's about as good as I have 2.
C-Mac over 9.5, -106. Huh. Over first 5. Okay. I'm going to look very closely at that over here. I would love to hear from Vitalis what made him move on that under. Okay, let's review all action here. Thank you guys for rolling with us. Last night at midnight, again, I went 5-0 in CFL last week, and it felt real good. And I moved on 3 bets with confidence. Market moving against me on the total. I don't care. I'm on the Elks team total over 17.5, Elks full game plus 3.5, and Edmonton Ottawa over 42.5. The reason why I say that is because I just don't think the team total and the full game are going to be there. It's already the full game's moved 5 cents, and it's moved from 4 to 3.5. And the team total when I woke up this morning was at 18.5. So that's the reason why I'm saying that now. That game doesn't go till Friday, and those are the only bets I made in CFL. Here we go in MLB. We have the game that's already underway. Farmer over 1.5 bases at plus 145 for CMAC, and I'm on the under 10 at plus 105. Nationals, Mariners, we stayed off. Ron Crawford, spreadsheet play days, Baltimore -1, and Troy Torrance doubled up first half and full game on Baltimore. CMAC gets his card started with the evening slate on the Pirates first 5 at plus 130. Here's a plus 110 average line here. Billy Friedrich, I felt like we were. I expect a positive ROI day. I feel like we're locked in here. Chat, guests, everything moving together nicely. I want Marlins first 3. I do. It's going to cost some money, though. It's juicy. CMAC, Brewers first 5 at plus 130. Another plus line for CMAC. I'm going to move on the cards, either -1 or money line. Gamblers first glance is the cards. We had a ton of Astros love in the chat, and huge amounts of bets on the Astros and the lines moving to the Cardinals. And I do not hate Michaelis like everybody else. The ribeye play of the day from Mike M is Josh Young at plus 140. Ribeye play of the day, spectacular numbers. I didn't update it from yesterday, but as of yesterday, it was 9 and 5 plus a shade, a taint hair over 10 units. BJ, $2,000, 4 units. His units are $500 a pop on the Phillies. BJ moving heavy on the Phillies. Guardians, Royals, no action here. Dodgers, Rockies, no action. I want the first 5 over in the White Sox, Angels, but I demand Ohtani in the lineup. I demand it. And look, Piker, to steal your mom panties from the hamper play today is the Cincinnati over full game. Just send me your address, Piker. I'll send some over. And not mine, of course.
I like it. I think there's runs.
CMAC is on the A's first 5 at plus 110. You guys see the God, I'm losing my mind here being here for too long, but what the hell, whatever. That's his third first 5, all at plus money. How am I missing a word in my head? What the hell? CMAC is on the over 9.5 at -106 in Tampa, Arizona, and I may be joining. Look at that. That's what I wanted to see, Fopatashi. The Elks team totals now at 19.5 and 2.5. I hope you guys followed the tweet from last night. I didn't put out till midnight, but it didn't really come clear to me until then. So it wasn't that I was holding on to it or anything. I love that shit, Fopatashi. Triple up. I probably should. I think I'm seeing things clearly enough to move that unit size to 200. It's just at 150 right now. Okay, that is our show for today. CMAC pulling double duty, but you're going to get a completely different breakdown from CMAC as he's bringing the Jack of the Day to the Balking Dead at 3:10 p.m. Eastern. Please follow CMAC on Twitter at Conor Mac Picks. Thank you guys so much. Fopatashi, Piker, Billy Friedrich, Big Show, Da Juice, Christopher Comatini, Rem Most, Real Deal Prime, Nasty Nate, Piker, Robert Franklin, Rem Most, Equitimus. All you guys, thank you so much. Johnny Guns, Alondo, Swizz, Vitalis, Rocco Rogers, Sean Pulliam, Top Set. Great group. Bankroll Spence. Thank you. All of you guys. Wash, Redskin, Alfonso Scott. Thank you guys. Jared Bush, Sharpie, Mally Mal, Noli Knows, Wine Time, Mike M, Brian Watson, Jake Valent, all you guys, just very, very thankful to roll with all of you guys. We have nothing without you guys. To our producer, Jose, why don't you jump on with us for the closer? Thank you so much for rocking with us. Jose, who is your guest for Say Hey Plays today at 5 p.m.?
Dabby Cap joins us. It'll be a whole lot of fun. As always, I tweeted out my action just now, a couple minutes ago, I guess like 20 minutes of show. So it should be a good day, hopefully. And Biff Tamden and I will both be rocking and rolling.
I love it. I love it very, very much. CMAC, my friend, can you close out our show with your final words? And then Leche us into the future.
Yeah. Shout out to the chat as always. Best goddamn chat in the goddamn game, as I always say. Period. Nasty Nate. Shout out to everyone in the green as well. Join us. $4.99. Brian Watson. Big Show. I will see you soon. Real Deal. Prime. The Grinder. Rem Most. Everyone up in here. As you hear them all. Top Set. Rocco. Let's get that cash today, Jimmy. Let's get it. Leche. Hey, los bookmakers.
Go.